The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, January 19th, 2021 years after the year 0. This show shall begin because of that Twine beat drop. Appreciate you listening or watching wherever the hell you may be, whether it's at home or in the office on YouTube or in your car traveling around, maybe your truck on Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. 1-888-MAD-DOG-6 is our phone number. Go ahead and give us a call. We can't wait to chat with you today. Not a lot of new breaking news, okay? There's some things popping off in the world of sports. Antonio Brown's knee injury, which held him out of a little bit of the game this past weekend, is day-to-day, nothing serious. Look for him to play this weekend against Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. Mark Ingram, big trust, woo, woo, woo. Cut from the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens, normally the coach will get fired like the day after the season ends or something like that. The Baltimore Ravens are like, nah, we're just going to cut all our players to the day after the season ends. You guys can go get a head start on free agency. Here you go, Mark Ingram, Robert Griffin III. Good runs in Baltimore. Those two were cut immediately afterwards. The New York Mets general manager sent his dick in about 62 unresponded to text messages.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Had no idea these types of humans existed out there. Happy he got fired. Jet Passon, friend of the show, put together a Barbara Walters-like piece, breaking it all down, and it gets very uncomfortable in there. And shout out to the Mets, by the way, firing old buddy immediately upon learning about what happened. Steve Cohen said, when I was in my press conference, I said I want to do this with the right people. The guy sent in his bulge and naked erect penis in the report to a lady who has not responded in about, I don't know, months or years at this point. Is not something we want to be about. Get them out. See you later. And then obviously other things happening in the sports world. You got championship weekend we'll talk about. James Harden and Kevin Durant are dominant right now. Got a chance to watch them live last night against Giannis and the Bucks. What a fun little tag. Hey, what a fun tag team.
Oh, yeah.
Harden had to be so excited to get the hell out of Houston, okay? And obviously DeMarcus Cousins, John Wall didn't get along, and it was like, hey, it wasn't going to work anyways. James Harden didn't want to go back to the Rockets for whatever reason. There is a plenty that have been discussed on the internet for who and why he wanted out of there. Inevitably, he wanted the hell out of Houston. He forced his way out. A lot of people said he showed up out of shape, had the beard, missed the thing, did the thing with the bag and the adult ballet. I mean, there was a lot of stuff happening. And then even in a press conference, as a member of the Houston Rockets, goes, hey, this team stinks, guys. You know? So while all that's happening, I would assume Kevin Durant, who's in Brooklyn, who didn't get a chance to play last year because he was hurt, even though he is an absolute stud, he's working behind the scenes to Steve Nash and the boys going, hey, listen, I know he looks like he's not in shape right now and hates basketball, and we have no idea. Just know that if we get him, hey, me and him, good friends here. We don't know what Kyrie's doing. Hey, we hope Kyrie comes back and plays basketball, but he's got a world to figure out that he's got going on too on the side while doing this whole thing. If he comes back, great. If not, whatever, we're going to be good. They're awesome to watch.
Yeah.
They've scored 30, both of them, in their first two games together since going to Brooklyn. That is going to be a fun tag team in the East, and then inevitably probably run into LeBron and the boys. Now the NBA is potentially back, but now we got to wait months until it gets important.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's NBA talk. All the boys are here at Tone Diggs. How you feeling? What are you feeling about? What are your gambling thoughts? What is life like over there for Tone Diggs? A man who beat COVID, by the way.
Yes, he did.
That's good.
I'm glad you bring that up quite often because we shouldn't forget that.
How about the Juju Bees attacking a man that beat COVID?
Jeez. It's a little
Show
weird.
some respect.
Wow.
It's a little
They thought about
disrespectful.
that.
It's a little disrespectful. I'm a little upset that there's going to be no in-person combine this year here in Indianapolis because that's where I get 75% of my scoops from for the year, while coaches and GMs and front office people are drunk down here at Kilroy's.
Yeah.
And they loose lips.
Yeah.
And we don't have that chance this year. No.
Some say sink ships, but the ship that's floating well because of those loose lips is the old Diggs boat. Yeah. You know what I mean? True. But you're 100% right. Indianapolis, for a very long time, was an NFL spring break. Okay, although the combine was happening here, the city of Indianapolis, because it is a city built on hosting people, basically. Everything's connected. It's very close. The restaurants are very, very understanding to people from out of town. They do not care. Let's have a good time down here. The NFL going to combine, obviously, they were working on making their football teams better.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, they were leaving no stone unturned at the combine here in Indianapolis.
Of course. Right.
Obviously, they were scouting their asses off and working harder than anybody else at any other time. But then immediately upon those sessions that they were being forced to go to end, you see the city of Indianapolis just becomes this NFL party. And it is very cool for the city of Indianapolis. I assume a lot of money's made. Jerry Jones's Dallas Cowboys bus will actually move like down a half a block. He'll go into a club, into the bus for like 15, 20 minutes, half a block down into another club, back into the bus. Dean Blandina was the head of officiating, was seen coming out of the bus at one point. I mean, downtown Indianapolis is popping off during the combine time. Last year, they moved it to prime time and everything else going on, so the bars didn't really get to go off. This year, they're moving it out of Indianapolis. I am very worried that the city of Indy is potentially going to lose the combine. Now, hopefully after everything gets settled down, and hopefully after the world beats COVID, like you did Tone Diggs, and you did Zito, the combine will be back. But it's going to be a big loss, especially for those conversations you potentially have about, midnight, 1 a.m. at certain places around Indianapolis.
We were talking about a hefty travel schedule going to all the pro days for the GMs and coaches and scouts.
Yeah, because head coaches will go to a couple, right? If they have a high pick or something like that, they'll go check out in person the pro day and everything like that. But it's not normal that you see GMs and head coaches at every single pro day. There's a lot of schools out there. But now there's no combine. Anybody they potentially have a question about, they're going to have to go watch in person. And if you're the GM or the head coach, do you send a scout that you trust, obviously? Or if it's a big investment, do you have to go check that out yourself? It is going to be a lot of travel, but I'll be excited to see if this affects any smaller schools. You know what I mean? Ooh. Not that smaller schools always have a fair shot at anything anyways. They normally have to tag team with a little bit larger school to do a pro day. But will this kind of cut back on that type of thing? Then going forward, by the way, the NCAA saying this year doesn't count towards eligibility. What happens next year with like the whole, you know what I mean? There's going to be a very interesting scouting going on. But you're right. The Indianapolis city and community missing out on the NFL party is damn shame.
Damn shame.
Impossible to get into Lucas Oil, by the way. It is Area 51.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was supposed to go in there and do an NFL Network thing, and I couldn't get in. 25 minutes, the security guard knew me. Security guard knew who I was, knew exactly what I was trying to do.
Hands are tied,
Yeah,
Pat.
you don't have the pass. I'm like, what do you want me to do? I don't have the pass. Like, you need to have them get the pass. Somebody from the NFL Network had to walk from the complete opposite side of the stadium all the way around the stadium, get me the pass, show the pass. I had to sign some things, go through, and then we had to walk all the way back. It was like 20, 30 minutes late. Couldn't get in. They locked that place down. The same security guard that walks us basically into the stadium on Sundays. Like, I literally just seen this guy. This guy and I know, can't fucking do it, Pat. Sorry. I'm like, I mean, the TV's on NFL Network. They're saying I'm going to be on TV in fucking 10 minutes.
Coming up.
That's me. You know me. Yeah, can't. Sorry, I'm not allowed to do it. Hands are tied. So that is the only drawback I got.
5 miles around the stadium just to get back in.
It was tough. It was a pretty good little conversation. We talked about nothing because I was invited to the combine, so I had no experience with it.
Yeah.
I have no idea what these guys are going through. Wasn't invited. I have no clue what's going on. Connor, Patriots are going to stink, but Josh McDaniels potentially going to the Eagles. Name surfacing back up for head coaching gigs. He interviewed with the Eagles for a long time. Josh McDaniels, do you think he'd take Eagles' job over any other job? How do you feel about old McDaniels potentially leaving the entire ship up there?
I mean, look, I just want everyone who's been through the system to be able to be themselves. And if McDaniels can't be himself in New England, then that's that. But it doesn't matter when you're bringing in superstar, all-pro, probably the best player in the league, Ryan Fitzmagic, to run your offense. I mean, we don't need an offensive coordinator when you got the Magic Man at the helm. So it doesn't matter.
So what do you guys are just going to go with older players that you don't have to pay a bunch of money
Exactly.
to, and then build the team up around that.
Exactly.
That's interesting because there was an idea there for a while. You draft a rookie who's young and cheap, and then you build the team around him, then you do it again. But the Patriots potentially go, no, we don't know if that rookie's going to work out. Let's go tail end, twilight. Let's go ahead and lock this thing down. By the way, at that point, if they're around 10 to 15 years, they love football, so they're going to love coming up here. Let's go ahead and do it. Now we get the Tom Brady deal, but with people that maybe aren't Tom Brady, obviously, but they still play the position that Tom Brady played. So that's the entire situation.
Magic has plenty of shades of Tom Brady, so I'm not worried about it. And plus, if there's anyone who knows the AFC East, it's Ryan Fitzmagic.
Fitzmagic has been around over there in the AFC East. Tom Brady, by the way, this weekend. Tom and Aaron, that's the big conversation, right? All morning we watched all those shows. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. I think it's incredibly fascinating that we do get this year.
Oh, yeah. The GOAT game.
Like, I feel like this is Tom's first year in the NFC. Gronk's first year in the NFC. By the way, after the game, he was celebrating with, I forget who in the locker room. They had masks on. They were being very safe. And Gronk actually said, AFC championship, baby.
Yeah.
And the NFC. He goes, oh, that's right. We're the NFC. The NFC. The first year in the NFC. You know, Tom's first year over there. He runs right into another guy who was talked in the same conversation as him in the NFC championship. It's just like a perfect, it really is perfect for storytelling at this point. All week you're hearing, if Aaron gets the win this weekend, is he officially in the GOAT talk? It's like, well, he's already been in the fucking GOAT talk.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess maybe in your world that he has a bit, but in most people who know football, Aaron's already in the GOAT conversation. Aaron doesn't play against Tom Brady, but man, this does feel like a game that's going to be talked about for a long, long time, either way that happens, right? It'll be like when at the end there, Tom ran into Aaron, and then Aaron, there'll be an entire setup for a storybook at this point. And I think we're incredibly lucky to have it, to be honest. Like, I honestly do. Week 6 was a much different game, I assume, than what it's going to be this weekend, or maybe it won't be. Vita Vea coming back for the Buccaneers nose tackle was a huge deal. He can push the pocket back, and how Aaron handled that. Aaron's always been able to do it. And then for the Buccaneers, Devin White comes back after missing 3 games, maybe the best football player that's ever played football all of a sudden out of there. I mean, it's going to be, you got Devontae Adams, who's unstoppable at this point. You got Lazard, who we talked to yesterday. Wouldn't give us what Scary Ninja was, but we'll talk about some juices he's been taking. He's a stud. I mean, this is they got it right. We said it yesterday. They got it right. And in the AFC, obviously, Josh Allen and Patty Mahomes, if he can get through the concussion protocol. Ty Schmidt, we learned a lot about the concussion protocol this morning, more so than we ever have in the entire past. We have the entire fucking thing, like word for word on what the protocol is. I've never seen this before. There's a pretty in-depth thing that you have to, that happened. I was never in the concussion protocol, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, I flew around lead with my head, too.
I was going to say, you had your fair share of big hits.
Yeah, absolutely. Never got into the concussion protocol, but there's a lot that has to happen for old Patty Mahomes, Ty.
Well, what I don't understand, too, is I feel like he's going to get cleared and he's going to play no matter what, but if it really is like a neck thing and not, like an actual concussion thing, if he gets hit once, what's to say, and he starts stumbling again, isn't he's done?
Yeah, I don't know. It was a scary stand-up stumble.
Very scary.
Because it's Patrick Mahomes, too. You know what I mean? And you think about it, and then he jogs off the field, though, right? You saw him jog off the field, just like I guess Lamar did as well after Lamar hit his head and got a concussion and then had to jog back there. But the protocol, can you put those back up, Foxy? Step 1, based on symptoms, the player can engage in light stretching, balance training, and eventually progress to light aerobic exercise.
So he can't even run yet?
Okay, maybe. We don't know what step he's in, right? When did he start stretching? Was that immediately after the game? Can you touch your toes? No, I get a headache. Okay, we're not even in step 1. Then step 2 is the player can graduate toward cardiovascular exercise and dynamic stretching and then take neurological and balance tests. He can pass through this step once those test results match his baseline scores, which I would assume is the impact or what they initially went through to set the standard on whether or not your brain has been hit or not. So the neurological and balance test, is that in an Oculus?
Oh yeah.
Should be.
Is that in the Oculus? Because I'll tell you what, if you have concussion symptoms, you put that Oculus in, I assume you're just going to puke all over the place. Oh, yeah. That should be step maybe 1 through 3.
Is the finger to the nose the balance test?
Yeah. Probably stand on one leg.
Yeah.
Should make him walk the
Walk
wire.
straight line, yeah.
Alphabet backwards, please.
Yeah, please.
Hey, Pat, what do you think the long-term effects are going to be? Let's say this is a pretty significant injury. You think they may alter the rules on how you can hit a quarterback? Remember what happened with Tom?
Oh no, that is interesting. Well, it was a head or neck. It was a head or neck tackle, by the way. So I don't think Mac was trying to hurt him. Obviously, he was just trying to catch him. But it was a head or neck. You saw his hand up there. So I would assume it's already in the rules. It just wasn't called at the thing. So hopefully there wouldn't be that big of an overreaction, because in football things like this can happen. But Patrick Mahomes is, he's in every commercial.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He's getting his hair cut.
Face of the NFL.
Dollar signs when he's there.
He's dancing. He's getting, and for Bose, he's dancing. He's getting his hair cut. He's in prime time every single week. I mean, he is the guy.
They're going to push the playoffs back a week.
Oh, because of a concussion.
Perhaps.
Step 3, the player can move toward a limited amount of football-specific exercises. Yeah, you can go play catch, all right? That includes up to 30 minutes of practice time under the supervision of an athletic trainer. Standard stuff, by the way, for people coming back from an injury. Not saying that a concussion is different than other injuries. I'm just saying that normally you'll come back limited time. You have a trainer with you or a physical therapist with you. Then you go to the other field. You work on some stuff. Then you try to go back in. Then you go out. If, depending upon the injury, that is a very normal thing. And by the way, I was very lucky with the Colts. We had a great staff. Very talented, cool, funny. Felt like they knew. They're always very confident. And they got me back from like 3 surgeries or whatever. So I don't know how it is everywhere, but in India it was like that. Step 4, football activities can increase to non-contact drills such as throwing and running. Another set of tests must again show baseline results. And then step 5, this requires the team doctor to clear the player for contact. Once that happens, the player must be examined by an independent neurological consultant, parenthesi, INC, parenthesi. If the INC affirms the team doctor's decision, the player is cleared to practice full and play in the team's next game.
That's the one I don't trust.
Well, that's what everybody said immediately upon him entering the protocol. Is like, hey, this isn't just the team that's going to be deciding whether or not Patty Mahomes is coming back. It's also an independent neurological consultant doctor.
What if that independent consultant is from Midland?
Oh, well, that is something that would have to be talked about. I would assume that the independent one, though, they are going to try their best to make sure it is an actual independent. You know what I mean? Not from somewhere.
Yeah, and if it's
that could potentially paint a picture in a different light.
It's a little sketchy. You just bring in Merrill Hodge, and you're going to be fine. Put the guy in the damn game.
Guy's good. What is it, NFC Championship? AFC Championship? Yeah. He's good.
His eyes are open.
He's good.
That is the old school football thing, by the way. And that
Squeeze my hand.
This is kind of like the picture of, how many am I holding up? 2?
Sanchez test.
Did you say 2? Yeah.
2?
Yeah, you did.
That's
Yeah.
what it is. Get your fucking ass back out there. By the way, we're running a quarterback dive. First play. This is interesting because this is all the science. You know what I mean? All the conversation about, hey, got to protect the brain. Then it's like, well, he didn't even get hit in the head. Carrington Harrison shot it. I went on his radio show yesterday. 6'10" KC, by the way. Thanks for the time, Carrington Harrison.
Go.
And another guy was with him. I forget his name. No shots here. I just forget your name. That's 100% on me. I was learning of Carrington Harrison. 32-year-old, by the way, hosts a show. Good conversation.
Nice.
He said yesterday that his source told him that it wasn't even a shot to the head. It was a nerve thing in the neck. And back to your point, Ty, like, how do we know how are they going to test that? That's a very interesting.
Like if he gets hit once and is wobbling, then they're gonna have no choice because that's all anyone's gonna talk about.
Bro, Chad Henne, Josh Allen,
Gonna say.
battle it out for the AFC championship.
When you potentially hurt your T1, T2, did you have any wobblies?
I was never out of balance or whatever, but boy, every move was kind of tough. Mine was more, I think, bone. You know what I mean? Potential.
okay.
This is nerve.
Oh, gotcha.
You know what I mean? And the nerve. The neck nerves, I assume those are pretty important.
Did you ever wake up in the morning
AQ.
and it hurts?
AQ has that was
Right?
a tightened, something tightened. What's it called?
Spinal stenosis. It's where
Yeah.
your spinal column narrows
There's a
up.
little tighten on it. He's got a little
Pushing
tighten.
on the nerves, I assume.
Well, the nerves. I would assume there are nerves involved.
Did
I would
Peyton
assume.
have a nerve thing in his neck, right?
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
He got his thing.
Laser
glued
fused.
together.
They
Spinal
did-
fusion.
Yeah, I think so, right? The fusion. And he didn't have feeling in his hand for a while, I think, is the reports. I'm not 100% sure, but the reports were he didn't even have feeling in his hand. And they didn't know if it was how long it was going to take for it. They knew it would come back, but they didn't know how long because nerves, they said. Nerves kind of. I guess these nerves are just gangsters. Do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
But they said, and then obviously we end up cutting him, and then he goes to Denver. And by the way, it did come back.
He did.
Yeah, he broke a couple NFL records, won a Super Bowl and everything like that. But he did start wearing a glove, which was a little bit different operation. I wonder what not just the long-term effects of the nerve thing, but what if it's a nerve, that means it's probably potentially going somewhere else in the body as well.
Well, the long-term effects for Andy Reid are don't run a goddamn power option with your $500 million quarterback on 3rd and 1.
Carrington Harrison, after you already ran a play, Carrington Harrison, that was the second time they ran it. Carrington Harrison said that there's a lot of people in Kansas City potentially questioning that call to begin with. And I didn't even know that we were potentially questioning the call, which I think during the call, I did question it, while it was happening. But after he gets hurt, it kind of takes away that entire thought. It's like, okay, now Chad Henne's the story. I completely forgot about it. And I just said, Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy, they studied film a lot more than me this week. And they have run much better offenses. But while that play was happening, I, like a lot of people, was like, what the fuck are we doing? You guys got a broken toe. Guy's got a broken toe right now. You got 75 offensive weapons. Why aren't we going to one of them?
That's how much confidence they have in Chad Henne.
Hey, if he dies, he dies. Got fucking Chad Henne, bro. We got to get to a break. Terrell Owens with the Giants. Yeah. 81 Vino is his wine company. Ty was housing some last night in maybe the biggest cartoon glass I've ever seen in my entire life.
It was not 81 Vino, but I wish it was.
We'll talk to him about that. Andy Reid obviously has a lot of knowledge in that particular subject. Talk to him about just football in general, his life. I assume Donovan McNabb's going to get brought up. I would like those two,
hash it out.
Put their swords down.
two incredible, but we don't know the behind the scenes story.
No,
True.
Who knows?
So it's like, I asked Donovan McNabb last time he was on, you think UNTO or whatever, and he said he hasn't really thought about it or think about it. It's like, oh, okay. And then Terrell, I guess there's still this thing. So maybe I don't even talk about it because I don't know what the fuck happened behind the scenes.
No clue.
Yeah, seems like I should probably just stay out of it. Don't need old dumb white in Indiana to be throwing himself into the entire conversation. So anyways, very positive and good conversation coming with Terrell Owens on the other side. 81 Vino, football talk, you get it. This is the Pat McAfee Show. Aaron Rodgers, Tuesday, January 19th, 2021. You said in the interview that you would add an extra finger to your scotch drink or whatever. A finger is just what? Just one finger this way or this way?
Yeah, like this, bro.
So did you do 4 on Sunday? You did a full fucking glass?
It was a long night. We didn't get home. I didn't get home till like 11:40.
Look at how much scotch that is. Is that what you did?
It's not that much.
That's 4 fingers, dude. You said you normally do 3. That's 4 right there.
But you have those fat sausages. It hasn't been cordial over the years between me and Sue. We've had some battles over the years. I think I mentioned that he got frozen feet and didn't realize he was stepping on my calf. He also stomped on one of my teammates at one point. I was under the impression that we were going to have a conversation after the game. And there might have been some loss in translation, whether or not he was talking about the, see you at the bus conversation. I thought it seemed more like, hey, let's have a little, come to Jesus moment. I was looking for that conversation. I didn't know how it was going to go. I didn't think it was going to, look, I'm not going to fight number 2.
Do you think it was the 3 pumps that potentially got you into deep shit with the football gods, Aaron?
You, of all people, a man who is celebrated as much as anybody at your position, you must realize whether necessary or unnecessary. The celebrations have no correlation in that sense.
You needed a kick in the ass. Do you just think everybody was getting kind of too comfortable and had a bye week and had a chance to soak it in? Hey, we're very, very good. Is that what you meant by that?
I think we all need that a little bit. When the complacency starts to sink in and you start kind of feeling yourself a little bit, it's always good to kind of get knocked down. And I think it can be a good thing. I'm not saying, look, nobody wants to lose to fucking figure things out. Great teams have consistent habits. And so we got to keep doing the things that got us to 4-0 in order to get back to where we want to be.
Here, huh?
Yeah.
Here. Attaboy, Aaron!
I know you were an extra in Game of Thrones. I wanted to get your opinion on how you think the show ended.
So I think many of us were disappointed and confused by the ending.
Which one were you? Do you know which one you were yet?
The guy running duck-footed heel first with his arms splaying all about.
Yeah, no cakes. Weak jaw. Turned into the alley. Was that you?
I think that guy's related to AJ somehow.
Oh, shit!
Do not talk about it.
Pat McAfee.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
One fight at a time, fellas.
The Pat McAfee Show.
That's right.
Right? That was this year, I think.
Uh-huh.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. Yeah, it was just a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Just happened.
Bingo. Welcome back to the show. This is the Pat McAfee Show here on this Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, January 19th, 2021. Woo! We are being joined by Hall of Famer, one of the most electrifying players to ever play in the NFL. He's not there yet. No.
Oh. Should be.
Come on. No, he's not in the shot yet. He has called.
Oh, okay.
Put his phone down, potentially doing something now.
Finishing a workout.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a Hall of Famer, one of the most electrifying football players of all time. We've had a chance to chat with him before. It's always a good conversation. The founder and owner of 81 Vino, which is your new favorite wine. Ladies and gentlemen, Terrell Owens.
Yeah. Let's go, T.
Come on, boy. What's going on, man? Oh.
I'm good, man. How are you?
Hold on. I think what just popped up is your screen name. It says Hall of Famer, Sunglass, Popcorn. Is that right?
That's right. Exactly.
Oh,
yeah, get your popcorn ready.
I love that. Obviously, whenever you sat down into the screen, what was said from the back room there is you were sideways in, biggest bicep they've ever seen in a Zoom call. And I think one thing that was always said about you is that you're in immaculate shape. I mean, it is, I think people still question whether or not you could go play right now if you had to. Are you just working out constantly? Is that how you stay in the shape that you stay in? What is the routine? Because I'm a pudgy white and I would like to get into better shape.
No, it's called maintenance, man. That's all it is. I don't really have to really train like I used to when I was playing, but it's just over the course of my career, I've learned how to really kind of just maintain, eat healthy, and that's really kind of the secret. It's really nothing other than that. Just a lot of popcorn and a lot of wine right now.
Yeah, let's talk about the wine. How did you get into the wine? Was that something you always did you always drink wine? Did you become a wino when you retired? How did you get into wine?
Well, I think I got to develop a palate, within the last couple of years. You would think being out in San Francisco where there's nothing but Napa Valley, all these vineyards out there and good food, I would have kind of, again, gravitated toward there then. But when I played, I didn't really drink much at all. But this opportunity came about through a mutual friend, a guy that's been helping me with some marketing and branding, Max Management, out of New York. And he brought it to my attention. And I didn't know what to think about it at first. But when you think about who I partnered with, and God bless his soul and rest in peace, Mr. Tommy Lasorda, who just passed a couple of weeks ago. I was supposed to come out to LA, obviously to do some stuff with the branding and obviously meet him. He had just gotten out of the hospital on that Tuesday, and he ended up passing on that Friday. So I was unfortunate that I wasn't able to meet him, but I've had a couple of conversations through the branding and some of the business partners, who blessed this opportunity for me to be a part of, 81. And so, again, just to make a long story short, this came about through a mutual friend. When you think about what Tommy Lasorda has done throughout his career, Hall of Famer, two-time World Series champion here in the Los Angeles area with the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I couldn't pass up the opportunity. When you think about what his legacy and what he's done, I felt like it was a great match. And so here we are. I didn't really know how it would turn out. It was a very meticulous process. I was very involved from the taste of the wine, from the branding, from the feel and taste of it. And if you look at it and if you order the wine, this was really dedicated. Really, once I got involved, I wanted to do something special for the fans who have supported me throughout the course of my career. And again, I'm going to gain some new fans as well because there's a lot of wine drinkers across the country.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And when you think of a cab, you think of big, bold, and dry. You would almost think that you're thinking about myself, except for the dry part. But yeah, this is something that, like I said, I got really involved with this. Like I said, even from the labels, and for my fans, I'm going to give them And when you buy, you can buy a signed and an unsigned. And so I just wanted to dedicate something to the fans, and it's been a great process thus far.
Yeah, sounds like. Rest in peace, by the way, Tommy Lasorda, absolute legend over there for the Dodgers for a long, long time. You said you were a part of the tasting and everything like that. How long was it to get this wine? So I've been out, no big deal. I've been in Napa Valley as well. I don't know if this is an oak barrel type wine or it's in a steel.
Okay. You're familiar. Yeah, this is right. This is a European and American oak barrel.
When I heard about those oak trees, you know what I mean? So I heard about how long did the process take to create the taste and everything like that? Was there already something kind of already made whenever you got involved, or how did this whole thing come about whenever you create a wine company?
No, it was all from scratch, because I'm not like when I've drunk wine, I don't like the dry taste. I wanted to kind of bring something to the market that's palatable. When you think about wine, like I said, there's a lot of red wine drinkers. So I wanted to bring something to the table that's going to be suitable for the masses. And so I wanted to bring a little bit of a little sweetness, if you will, to my wine. It's not going to taste like grape juice. I know when people say sweet, they think it's going to taste sweet, but my wine, it will consist of like a ripe black cherry, preserves.
You gonna put it in a bag?
Chocolate.
You gonna put it in a bag at all, so we can smack the bag a little bit? You know what I mean? You know, the real classy wine, the boxed wine. Any of that? You can do any of that?
No, not just yet. I'm getting there. But when you think of this wine right here, it will, for your palate, it will consist of, like I said, plum preserves, some with a little cinnamon aromas, like I said, dark chocolate and spicy toasted oak. I tell a lot of people, especially women that are listening, they probably think that I'm talking about myself when I say dark chocolate, spicy, toasted oak. Bold. But I'm not. I'm talking about the wine.
Yeah, it seems like this wine has really embodied. I mean, you're one with the wine at this point, and I think exactly. Hey, that's smart branding, by the way. Do you smoke cigars? Is this a wine and cigar?
Well, no, I'm not. I don't smoke cigars, but like I said, I'm going to pair my guy Chad Ochocinco. He smokes cigars, so we might collab and do like a cigar wine type of event or what have you. But to answer your question, it took about 18 months, for this to be barreled. This is the 2017 cab here. Hopefully this goes well. We're looking to do 2018, and I'm going to try to make 2018 special, that wine kind of special, because that was the year that I got inducted into the Hall of Fame. So we already kind of started brainstorming.
Put a gold jacket on that bottle.
Yeah. Hey, appreciate. So we're already thinking ahead about 28, about next year. So far so good. So again, for anybody that wants to get the wine, definitely go to the website, go to 81vino.com. And I'm a big Kobe fan. Obviously we're approaching the anniversary of his passing. And when I start thinking about the process, like I said, I'm very creative, really insightful. And so when I came up with the domain name, they were like, what do you want your domain name to be? And so, Kobe, the 81 Vino was sort of a nod for Kobe Bryant.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, obviously, smart person to give a nod to. He's a legend. Obviously, rest in peace coming up.
Absolutely.
As are you, though. Let's talk about your football career a little bit. I like your wine career. We got a couple winos in the office. They will be getting after it, so we appreciate that. Let's talk about your football career a little bit. We were going over your career a little bit before we got in here, and obviously, the celebrations were epic. The plays were awesome. But the thing that doesn't get talked about a lot, and I guess it did at the time, but I think it's kind of fallen out of conversation, is you broke your leg in tours, and then you played like 3 weeks later or something like that. Some insane,
like 6.5. We'll be realistic about it. It was 6.5, 7 weeks.
Oh, okay. So that is much different than
still broke. Yeah, I severely tore the ligaments in my ankle, and I had a break in my leg, like 10. I think it was like 10. I guess 10 centimeters from my knee or something like that. But yeah.
So you broke it all the way up here, and then 6.5 weeks later, you're back?
Yeah, if you think about an actual break in itself, that's around the appropriate time for the start of the healing process. So Yeah, it was broken because I didn't know it was broken until the next day. I knew my ankle was mangled because I felt it, I heard it. I remember when I got pulled down from behind, I heard a pop when Roy pulled me down. And so instantly and immediately, when Rick Burkholder came out, he was the head trainer, he's still the head trainer for Andy Reid at the Kansas City Chiefs. He came out and he was like, big guy, he's like, what? He's like, what happened? He's like, what's wrong? And I said, man, I think I broke my ankle. And so that's when they start signaling, for the cart. And so it wasn't again to the next day that I found out that I had broken my ankle, because overnight they told me to elevate it and it was throbbing. Obviously my ankle was hurting, but when I went in for MRI, x-rays and things of that nature, I told the radiologist, he asked me, was there anything else going on? I was like, dude, I said, up here by my knee, I said, dude, I said, I couldn't sleep. I said, it was aching really bad. And so he basically said, all right, cool, we'll scan the entire leg. And that's when they found out that it was broken.
So you had a broken ankle and a broken leg, came back 6.5 weeks later, played in the
Well,
Masters.
the ankle wasn't broken, but the tendons and the
you get it. All right, you're an absolute monster. You're an absolute monster. All right, it's in like the human's greatest athletes that the entire species of humans has ever had. I think you're on the short list of athletes of all time, which is incredible. Let's talk about your style of play. You were always so much fun to watch because you ran angry. Okay, your yards after catch, you were going. I
probably was angry.
Yeah.
I probably was angry.
Why?
Because I wasn't getting the ball enough.
Was that your entire career, you think? Like entire football career? Or was that something you always had where you're like, I want the ball every single play? Was that like that in high school? Was it like that in college? Or how did it all happen?
If you try to do some research on me from high school or college, you probably wouldn't find any information. When I came out of high school, I went to Benjamin Russell High School in Alexander City, Alabama. I wasn't your 4 or 5 star kid coming out of high school, nor was I in the top 15, 20, 40, 50 of athletes coming out of college. I just kind of developed, myself into a receiver. I'm very fortunate to have some of the receiver coaches that I had. And Larry Kirksey, when he coached some really great receivers, and John Taylor, J.J. Stokes, Jerry Rice, and George Stewart, the last probably 5 years in San Francisco. And so those guys really kind of developed me into the receiver that I became. But I did have some angry routes that I ran some of the time. And who noticed that was Steve Young. He noticed that if I did something wrong, or if I dropped a ball or something like that, he noticed once I got the ball in my hands, he called it, he said I ran angry routes. And then, it just transitioned into once I got my hands on the ball, that's how I ran really physical.
And let's talk about you. When did you get the thing like, is that just whenever you become a wide receiver? It's just like, okay, I want the ball every single play? Because I think that narrative, by the way, can be spun 2 different ways. You can either say, okay, this guy is being selfish, or you can look at it from a grander picture and be like, hey, this guy thinks he can help the team if he gets the ball more, and for whatever reason he isn't. And by the way, a large majority of people who are skill positions in the NFL feel that way. It's some of those.
Well,
is that just is that a natural thing?
If I was white, it would be the latter. But I was black, so it was like, oh, he's selfish. He's an angry black man on the football field. And that's how I got portrayed. And I'm sure I got vilified for, some of the things that people are being praised for now. Even you think about the celebrations, the touchdown celebrations. And I've tried to defend myself over the course of the years. But, yeah, if you look at Tom Brady, who exudes some of that and displays some of that passion, they say, oh, he's a passionate player. He loves football. He's a winner. He's getting his teammates up. But if I did it, it's the first thing that it's the opposite. It's what you explained first. It was like, oh, well, he's a selfish guy. He's a me guy. But I wasn't that type of person. And if you think about it, even when I was being inducted or got nominated for the Hall of Fame, those were some of the things that they kept bringing up about my career, that I was a selfish, I was this guy, I was that guy. But you never heard any of my teammates say that. That was a narrative that was created by the media. But I understood, what was going on at that time. If you think about where we are as a country, where we are As Trump leaves office, how people say this country is so divided. I understood systemic racism. I understood a lot of the things that were going on around me. I never said it because I had a grandmother that grew up in the segregation era. She told me about some of the hardships and things that she had to experience. She shared those things with me. And did I see that when I played? Absolutely. But I would have probably, if I would have brought that to the table, I would have probably gotten the same treatment that Colin Kaepernick did. He stood for something, proud, and he got ostracized for it. He didn't have a job. But I didn't allow that to deter what my goal was, and that was really honestly to play football, to become the best athlete that I could become. And in that, I came one of the best receivers to ever play the game.
Terrell, did you ever, like, for instance, we're talking to Aaron Rodgers today and every Tuesday this season, and I think a lot of people have learned a lot about Aaron Rodgers through this process. And I don't want to say it's conversations are like kind of letting people know who Aaron Rodgers has always been. But Aaron told us that he always wanted to kill him with indifference because there would be stories that would come out. And Aaron would never come out and be like, that's bullshit, or give his side of the story, which there always was. He said, I'm going to kill him with indifference. Whenever you were playing and you saw the media was starting to pitch this shit, like you knew like what was being said about it. And by the way, the way some things get going, once they get started, it just continues to build and build and build. It becomes
it's a snowball effect. Everybody started piggyback on.
Did you ever think I got to get out there? Did you ever think I got to get out there and stop that? Or were you just like, I have to worry about work here. I don't have time to deal with what everybody else is saying? Or were you told not to do it? Or did you do it and it wasn't successful? I always wondered about that at the beginning of the entire thing.
It was a situation. I mean, I thought about it. Like, yeah, you want to defend yourself because you don't want negative things being said about you. I mean, like I said, I have a family. My mom and them that thinks very highly of me. I have friends, close friends, and so they heard the things too. And so, again, like I said, teammates knew this. A lot of those things that were being said about me and the narratives that were created about me weren't true. But you see that, even in this Colin Kaepernick situation, guys that wanted to support him, they knew that if they said anything, that was going to put their job at jeopardy. But for me, I just basically went out there and just played. And I just knew that if I played poorly, amidst of everything that was going on, that was only going to validate what they were saying about me. And so I just basically killed them, with my play. And, obviously I performed well. If I went out there and I played and I was productive, then they couldn't really say anything but talk about what I did on the football field.
Oh, your celebrations though. Whenever those started, hey, obviously the marker's a famous one. Then obviously the popcorn, the pom poms. I mean the star. Oh my God! And then it would be
right. You think about those things that I did. For me, it was creative. It was fun.
Yes. By the way.
I didn't think. For me personally, I didn't feel like what I did was damaging the shield or damaging the integrity of the league. I just tried to have fun with the game. And those things, like I said, you had a lot of these analysts and commentators that were criticizing me for that, saying that I was selfish. But now, fast forward years later, now they have a Showtime cam at the end of the end zone where guys go celebrate. So everything that I was being criticized for around that time is obviously it's being embraced in today's game.
I wish you were around during the internet era, because like the internet.
Man, let me tell you, it would, trust me, I would be like some of these guys that have millions and millions of followers. And so, obviously that helps with their branding.
And they also go to bat for you too. So, like for instance,
sure,
Juju. For instance, Juju right now is getting a lot of heat, right, for when he was dancing on the logo and everything like that. And there's commentators that don't like it. There's pundits that don't like it. There's fans that don't like it. But Juju's fans, they come out. They're Juju bees. They come out and they attack for him. They're like, no, he's just having fun. Like, get off his ass, basically. If you were around in the internet era, I think you would have had, your people that would have been like, hey, stop being fucking old, okay, and just get over it, basically. That would have been, I think it would have been good.
Of course. And I think, again, if you're going to do something like that, you got to do something to support what you're doing. And I think he was doing that and they went on a losing skid. So it's like I said, it only compounds when you're not being productive. And for him, that's what happened. If they were winning, nobody would really be saying anything. They wouldn't really criticizing.
It's awesome, actually.
Right. The love would have quadrupled. You know, if you think about the fans that really loved him and that they were losing, just think about if they were winning and they were doing that.
Yeah, I agree. Ty, what do you got?
T.O., given how defenses have changed since you've been in the league and you obviously look like you're still in immaculate physical condition, what kind of numbers do you think you'd put up if you were to play like this year or next year?
I would definitely say, I mean, I think my best year, I think I had right under 1,500 yards, but you think about some of these guys now that are kind of flirting at like 1,800, almost 2,000 yards. I mean, there was a time like when I was in San Francisco and understanding, you know, how I played the game and the opportunity that you know, if everything kind of worked out throughout the course of the season, like I really wanted to shoot for 2,000 yards because I know it could have happened. But unfortunately, that didn't. And so, if I had a quarterback, a pass, like really a pocket passer, that really, like I said, you know, if I would have had a Steve Young or a Joe Montana the entirety of my career, and you think about, you know, how the game is being played now, there's no telling what I could have done. But I did the best, you know, with the opportunities that I had. I had 3, you know, I guess minuscule type of years with Steve Young. And I say that because I didn't get to play at the height of my career. I didn't get to play once I knew that I had the ability and the confidence to really take over games. I was just, like I said, I was in my infancy stage of my career. And then once he got hurt in my 3rd year with the concussions, you know, Jeff Garcia came in and Tim Rattay. I think somebody told me that I played with like a total like 20-something quarterbacks throughout the course of my career.
It's good. That's good stability. Did you know when you hit your prime? Did you know what you said whenever you were at your best or whatever? Steve was too young. Did you know like, oh, I'm playing football right now at a very high level? And then was there ever a time where you're like, oh, maybe I have lost it a little bit? Did you ever have that thought?
No, I never felt like I lost it because even when my last 2 years, people were saying that I had lost it. I was too old. When you think about Buffalo and Cincinnati, those two teams, especially in Buffalo, they had Lee Evans, who was a guy who was younger than I was, and I didn't really get an opportunity to really thrive in that offense until Ryan Fitzpatrick, you know, became the quarterback due to an injury, and that's when I outplayed Lee Evans.
Hey, you hit a go route on us, I think, week 17 in that blizzard, right?
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah, I remember that. It was week 17. And there was like 2 feet of snow or whatever.
Oh my God, that was the best game. That's probably that's the only game that I played in so much snow. That was like I've never seen anything like that. But being in Buffalo, that's bound to happen. And so yeah, my last year with Cincinnati, you think about Chad and Carson Palmer. They had been together like 9-10 years at this point. So I went into I didn't work out, but I worked out over the summer with Carson before that year. And so they had myself, Antonio Bryant coming in on the free agent market. And we went into to Cincinnati. We talked to the owner, we talked to Marvin, and the same day. And so they ended up coming we were just waiting. It was kind of like a waiting game. We were just kind of just almost like waiting in the lobby to see who they were going to pick. And so they ultimately chose. Yeah, they ultimately chose Antonio Bryant, who was 10 years younger than me. And so he ended up, you know, they ended up signing him to a contract. He didn't go through. He went through like mini camps or OTAs. And then they called me like maybe a month before training camp started because he had some knee issues. I ended up signing there for 1 year. And then I ended up playing Chad for that year. So when you talk about, you know, the height of my career, when I thought it turned on, I would probably say it would probably be after my like maybe 4th or 5th year. That's when I really saw, and then I really felt the confidence when they were able to trade Jerry away. That let me know, okay, they see something in me to trade the greatest receiver of all time away to the Oakland Raiders.
Greatest receiver of all time, Jerry Rice?
Yeah, absolutely.
No debate.
Absolutely. None. I mean, if you think about, he's won 3 championship rings. You know, got all the records, 200-something touchdowns, 20,000 something yards. Again, he played with two he didn't have a drop off at the quarterback position. He literally went from Hall of Famer to a Hall of Famer. When you go from Joe Montana to Steve Young, I mean, you're bound for greatness if you're out there and you know what you're doing.
Terrell, I can't thank you enough for joining. I think some of the things you said here might cause conversations on the internet, but that's your entire life. So I think you.
Well, I'm just going to speak honesty. You know what I mean? That's how I was raised. And so for me, I realized that early on in my career, and I think that sparked some of it because I didn't play any politics. I didn't really know what that meant at that time. I was a young kid. So I had, like you asked me earlier when you said, did you have guys telling me not to say this or not to say that? And Jerry Rice pulled me to the side, one time when some of these, I started going in these post-game, meetings or conferences or press after the games. And, they would ask me, okay, well, what happened in the game? What happened on this play? What was I supposed to do? Lie about it? They saw the same plays that I was just, that I just played. So I wasn't, like I said, I didn't have that wherewithal to be skirting around, answers at that time. Like I said, I went to a small school. I didn't have any media training. All I had was good parenting, from my grandmother. And she basically told me to be honest. There was no lying with me. Hey. So when I went in there and they asked me, what happened during a play or during the game, that's what I told them. So other than that, I didn't do anything wrong. I told the truth. And if you don't like the truth, then something must be wrong with you.
Hey, listen, that's exactly why you have a lot of fans too, though. So, hey, live by the sword, die by the sword. You got a lot of people on your side. Can't wait to try 81 Vino. We appreciate the hell out of you. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer, Terrell Owens.
Yeah. Hell yeah, T.O.
Man. He's awesome.
So good.
He's an awesome conversation.
For a long time.
He is an awesome conversation every single time. There's a couple things in there that people are going to react to.
Oh yeah.
There's a couple things.
Uh-huh.
Drop back quarterback conversation.
Yep.
Obviously, the talking about going from Hall of Fame quarterback to Hall of Fame quarterback. But I hope people talk about him being fucking boots on the ground for 81 Vino. 18 months. This guy grinding away at his business.
And a BlackBerry and chocolate.
I'm a big fan of people that, have money, have made it, and go and dive into their work. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, if he was testing it the entire time, I'm not a wine guy, but Ty drank an entire bottle last night. So we'll get him on some of this Cabernet here, 81 Vino.
I love it.
It's a great price.
What's that?
It's a great price.
What is it?
$40
For a bottle?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
$40 for a bottle?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Ty, you're buying all of them. Oh boy, Ty.
I ain't drinking no $40 bottle of wine. I'll tell you that. I'll try it once. I ain't gonna be buying that every week.
What do you mean?
Dude, love you, Terrell, but
Oh, he's on the phone. He's want to talk to him.
it ain't happening. $40?
I'm going to buy you a bunch.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Because it's worth it. This son of a bitch is going to taste good.
I'm sure it does.
Wait until they put that Hall of Fame jacket on the 2018 bottle. It's going to be good. Big thanks to Terrell for joining us. He's awesome. Hour 2 is on the other side. We got Buddha Baker joining us. And then obviously Aaron Rodgers. You got about 6 minutes. We'll take some phone calls on the other side. Take a shit. A perennial Pro Bowler. An all-pro. A man who's aging like fine wines. Green Bay Packers legend. Super Bowl champion. From Butte, California. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron
Please tell me that that's going to be a one-time thing.
What is the longest you've ever thrown?
Yeah, somewhere between 68 and 70, Pat. I don't know, right in that sweet spot.
69 yards is how far you threw it. Nice, congrats.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Of course you have, by the way. Of course you have.
With home.
That doesn't get you going for a game? Are you kidding me?
No, but I have a funny Creed story. So, in 2007, we're playing the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday night. We're 10-1. I have long hair. I'm a backup. And before the game, we walked down the field, and I don't know if it was on purpose, but our intro song was Creed with Arms Wide Open. I looked to my buddy Nate Weir, who AJ knows Nate really well, and we both said this is going to be a good night. And that was the night I came in off the bench and played pretty well and kind of changed the narrative about me from, possible draft bust to, hey, this guy might be able to play, maybe.
Thank you, Creed.
My kids say, like, oh, if they see him on TV, oh, there's Uncle Aaron, look at that. Oh, Dad, is that Uncle Aaron's dog? I'm like, no, it's a prop dog. They're like, well, what happens to that? I was like, oh, I think he has it killed after.
What the hell's wrong with you?
Like, oh, no,
AJ.
no.
I noticed this past Sunday you were smiling, shaking hands, giving a lot of high fives to the boys on the side. What have you seen in this old footage that has rejuvenated your love? Or is it something else about this 2020 season that seems to have you just in a better headspace?
Why am I having so much fun?
Bingo.
I have just a new and increased love of life. And I've made decisions and changes and habits that put me in a lot better headspace. And there's just a lot of things that have come together in my life over the last few months that have really been enjoyable and reminded me, given me perspective on life and in football to view things through the most positive lens I possibly can. And that's why I'm having so much fun. And it starts with love. And then surround yourself with people that you really enjoy. This show is, you know, to get sentimental, this show is just another step in that, because I love Age so much. And Pat, I have so much respect for you and the boys. Like, this was such a fun opportunity. And now I look forward to this every Tuesday.
Hey, it's great to have you on the RV, Gilbert. You look incredible. What have you been up to, man? I thought so. Honestly, my friend in the back there got a cameo from you. It sounded very similar. Hey, do you need anything, or? You're one of the longest reigning champions in the history of this company. Do you have any comments to say about that? Do you want a water or anything? For me? Water's right back there. Yeah, I feel like. I mean, just before we get started. To the right, Gilbert.
There once was a football team that played at Lambeau Field in old Green Bay, the frozen tundra covered in snow. Oh, go you Packers, go. Soon may the Rodgers man come to bring us points. He'll pass and run with Adams, Tonyan, Williams, and Jones. We'll all cheer, go Pack, go. They won the North and #1 seed. The D-Train helped protect the lead. We pay respects to Lombardi. Oh, go you Packers, go. Soon may the Rodgers man come to bring us points. He'll pass and run with Adams, Tonyan, Williams, and Jones. We'll all cheer, go Pack, go.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. Hour 2 on this Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, January 19th, 2021, years after zero. We'll begin immediately following this beat drop from Twine. There was, here we go. In hour 1, we had a chance to talk to Terrell Owens, also known as T.O., also known as the founder and owner of 81 Vino, alongside Tommy Lasorda. It is a red Cabernet that is bold, that is a dry but sweet blackberry-like tasting wine that goes right into Ty's biggest wine glass I've ever seen in my entire life.
Absolutely. I am very excited to try it.
It is $40 a bottle.
Oh, yeah.
Not a case.
No.
Okay.
So these are for special occasions.
Okay.
81 Vino is for special occasions.
Having a baby, get a bottle.
What? Oh, you're not going to keep going?
Oh, no.
You had to start. You weren't going to keep going. Ton Diggs is here. Connor is here. Zito is here. Almost went on an incredible run there. And today's poll is a very interesting one. Will you let us know what your poll is and how are the results thus far?
Yep. Today we have where will Deshaun Watson end up? Last place is the Jets, 14.5%. Then we got the 49ers, 16.7%. Dolphins, 29.5%. And then other. And a lot of people are saying he is staying home.
Okay, so that's 7,900 votes. I assume that'll only grow. At Viva Lazito, you can promote the vote if you would like to. 39.3% saying other. He's staying in Houston. If you listen to what the media is saying, now granted, after that conversation with Terrell and after living a life in the world that we currently live in, we understand that there are potentially some media breaks and angles that have a narrative behind it that aren't necessarily always true.
Sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
Think we can all say that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It happens in every walk of life. It happens.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I think even in the ping pong community, it probably happens with the way some things are reported. If I guess. But anyways, if you believe the way they are speaking, it sounds like there is no chance Deshaun Watson's playing for the Texans again. I like that the fans and us, with the amount of money that he just signed for and what it would cost, are all thinking, Deshaun, there's no way that you're going to be able to get out. And Caserio is going to spend the rest of his time there looking for somebody that's like Deshaun Watson. He's going to try his best to find another franchise quarterback. They already got one, and now they're going to try to move on. It doesn't make any sense. And if you think about that from a logical standpoint, it's right. But if you listen to the media, who seem to have a connection to Deshaun Watson's people, it sounds like he really does want out. This will be a battle of the bulls, I believe. There will be some, maybe some confrontation happens, and we're hoping that he stays at Houston because I don't know anything about the Houston Texans organization. I just learned yesterday that Chaplin's making the goddamn calls over there. Yeah. So I don't know. We're excited to watch what happens with Deshaun. There's a list now that has come out, obviously. The narrative about him definitely leaving and playing his last snap as a Texan is so real. Now there's lists and where's he going to? A guy from Monday Morning Quarterback, MMQB, which is Peter King's thing.
Yeah, Connor Orr, I believe, is Pete King's top apprentice, almost a disciple, if you will. Okay, so it's not just some Joe Schmo.
Okay, so Connor Orr is, now granted, Connor Orr, I have seen his name pop up before, did not do the research. Ty did this morning. He is the heir to the Peter King, kind of like Ryan Seacrest was to Dick Clark.
Yeah, that's actually a very good analogy. It does seem like that, yes.
Okay, so congrats to Connor Orr, by the way, because the Peter King empire just somehow continues to grow and grow and grow.
Next in line.
It's unbelievable. Congrats to Connor Orr. So that's who Connor Orr is. We like to make sure everybody knows who is giving the opinions or news that we're breaking because we don't want to be attacked by people whenever this isn't our goddamn list.
No.
This is Monday Morning Quarterbacks list. And look, right there in the corner, Sports Illustrated is the one that created this graphic. So I mean, you could, it's over there, I guess. Not over there. I mean, way I'm looking at it's that way, but over here, it's over there. You know what I mean?
Easterby won't like that.
Well,
oh boy.
Well, because the SI.
That's right.
It is alleged that he alleged that the Crafts potentially own Sports Illustrated.
Yes.
But then he came out and alleged he never said that. And the alleged was actually not alleged because allegedly he didn't say any of that, and there will be lawsuits. Allegedly. Deshaun Watson, according to Connor Orr, number 1 landing spot. New York Jets, they have the picks to do so. They have Sam Darnold. Are they going to trade him? Is that going to be a part of the entire process? How many number 1s is it going to take? Joe Douglas is there. Bob Saleh is putting together a squad. Are the New York Jets going to turn around and get a franchise quarterback? No, not saying Sam Darnold isn't, but Connor Orr is, and get Deshaun Watson in there. That would be big for the New York media market.
Oh, yeah. Huge. Big time.
Big. Danny Jones over there at the Giants, is he going to be great? Nobody knows, but you got Deshaun Watson on the other side. Is the New York fanhood going to turn green for the first time in a long time? Is Fireman Ed going to be the norm instead of the different because the Giants have been successful with Deshaun Watson? Probably not. San Francisco 49ers number 2. Jimmy G potentially out. I would assume Caserio likes Jimmy G from his time with the New England Patriots. Everybody knows that nobody wanted to get rid of him up there except for a potential clash of egos in the quarterback room, which now that we're learning more and more about, potentially there shouldn't be because Tom Brady's about 70 to 80 times better than Jimmy G.
Smells like bullshit.
Number 3, Miami Dolphins. Maybe they've been in the running for a long time. They have the picks. Will they trade Tua, who Caserio allegedly likes? Pittsburgh Steelers. I guess Big Ben is back next year. He said, if the Steelers want me, I'll come back next year. I think he's owed like $40 million or something like that. Interesting. The Saints, because Drew Brees already told Jameis, this is your team now, but Deshaun Payton thinks it's Jameis' team. Who knows? New England Patriots. Wow, you guys going to pay $35 million?
No, this guy has no idea what he's fucking talking about.
Connor Orr.
Patriots aren't on this list.
Yeah, Patriots number 6 overall.
15th pick.
Raiders number 7. Bears number 8. Washington football team number 9. Denver Broncos number 10. Just pick a random third of the NFL and put them on.
All 10 teams that have a quarterback who stinks right now and would rather have Deshaun Watson.
Wow.
But that's a fun game if that's how the NFL worked.
Yeah.
You know, our quarterback stinks. Let's get one of the best ones.
Yeah, let's just go get him. Who cares? We'll just give him a pick.
I'll be so intrigued because if you listen to the media side, talking about him, I would assume having a source directly close to the situation, it sounds like he wants out of there. Then his tweet, I was at 2, I'm taking it to a 10. None of it seems feasible, and I think that's why a lot of the votes are saying he's staying, and we all think that. But if it happens, boy, that'd be a big day in the NFL news cycle. Big day. Save it for a good day, I hope.
Yeah, and then when you look at like Randall Cobb's tweet, that's when you really think like, oh shit.
Randall Cobb's delivering pizzas walking into a fire, burnt down house. What the fuck is going on over here? As soon as I get here, what, you guys trade DeAndre Hopkins out of here?
Yeah.
No.
What, we a 4th rounder? What you trade me for then?
Dave Johnson.
That's what, David Johnson. He was good a couple years ago. Here we go. Now Deshaun Watson's like, I hate the owner. I don't want to be here. Everybody else is like, well, what the fuck are we supposed to do? Well, we started a little bit of a Civil War practice. Remember, we got Billy O'Brien. We got to keep that thing going. What if they start sell the team? What if they start a sell the team chant out there?
No. Move it over to San Antonio.
Quick move. And get the Lions back down to Houston with a new owner, maybe.
That'd be perfect. Bring back the Oilers.
Hey, congrats to the Lions, by the way. They hired Dan Campbell, Motor City Dan Campbell's head coach.
Won the offseason.
Let's go. Let's get some phone calls here, shall we? Let's go to Zach down there in Florida. What's going on, Zach?
Yo, what's good, Pat?
Hey, not too much. Thank you for clearing it up there. I would like to be able to hear you, and I think you got a great conversation coming, Zach. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, man. Yo, what the fuck are the Giants going to do about Evan Ingram? Because, like...
Who the fuck cares, Zach?
Jesus.
Zach, it's championship week.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? It's championship week.
Giants.
We're talking about Deshaun Watson to the Jets right now. Evan Ingram, great player, but there's no way that's a conversation for right now.
No chance.
Read the room. One time.
He's called Francesa.
Yeah. Please. You know that we have not done the research on that. You know that we haven't. We specialize in a couple things. I feel like we know a lot of things. Asking about what the Giants are going to do with Evan Ingram this offseason, whenever we're in championship week? Come on. I appreciate Zach's call, but that was a waste of airtime. Let's go to Jake in Philly. What's going on, Jake?
How you doing, guys?
Hey, not too shabby. How are you, pal?
I'm all right. Nice new world order for the brand shirt.
Oh, yeah, thank you. It's for live.
I want to talk about my disdain for Howie Roseman.
Oh, okay. You're representing all of Philadelphia here, I think. Good luck out there.
Well, first, I just want to say he certainly was the person that should have went. I don't mind Doug being fired. Would prefer Deuce Staley to be the replacement head coach. But as far as Howie Roseman, he's got to go. He's the one who drafted Jalen Reagor over Justin Jeffries and drafted Jalen Hurts over Jeremy Chin, who we definitely needed in the secondary. So, I mean, he's got to go.
A lot of people are saying Howie Roseman, accountant, has too much power over there. And every head coach that goes over there is going to have to find out, who do I work for? Do I work for Howie Roseman, who everybody has said is insufferable? Or do I work for Jeff Lurie, the owner? Who do I work for here? What's going on? It's kind of like, do I have to talk to this dude, or do I get to talk to you? And if Lurie goes, well, you're talking to this dude, everybody's going to be like, all right, well, you're not talking to me ever.
No thanks.
It does feel like Howie Roseman, a lot of people hate him.
I have not heard one good thing about him.
Not one. He's one of those guys like Easterby who potentially needs to think like Joe Donnelly, that he needs to get something out there. You know what I mean? Something needs to get out there, like just one friend saying, not a bad guy.
I like him. He's nice.
Not a bad guy. I went to Easterby's church. He's actually a really good pastor.
Everyone loved him.
I haven't heard any of that.
Not one.
Somebody needs to get off their praying knees and onto their Twitter fingers and start talking about Easterby's prayers.
How do you dupe an owner like that?
Oh, bro, I don't know.
Like, for this long. I mean, I get
You're talking about Cal McNair, Easterby right now, or are you talking about Howie Roseman, Easter?
Both, kind of. I mean, the other one, because what, didn't they say that one of the reports was that Bieniemy, they didn't like him as much of a candidate because he wasn't like a man of God. That was like the first, that was like the,
Houston?
Yeah. Which would make sense if you have a fucking pastor running the operation.
All right, first question. Who's your Lord and Savior? Who? Well, I haven't had that deep of a thought about it yet. Okay, let's go. Get the fuck out of our Zoom call. God bless you, pal.
Good interview.
Hey, if you want to run your business however you want to run your business, you do your thing, but you got to expect some questions on the other side with how you run your business if it's not, succeeding with the way you're doing things. And I think right now, a lot of both Philly fans and Houston fans feel as if their organization is potentially burning the fuck down right now. This entire thing.
If you're a coach and you want to win on the Lord's Day, it's something you should think about: is who is your Lord and Savior.
I agree.
That's right.
I agree. Has Easterby ever thought about the business he works in? Just went in there on the day of rest on the Lord's Day and put it in a full. You're mine now. That's what the NFL did.
Yeah, stole
it's our day now.
It's my. Hey, they can do whatever they want, but kickoff's at 1. All right.
We'll take Monday and Thursday, too.
Yeah, and, hey, we will sneak into Tuesday. You can keep your little Wednesday night midweek prayer thing, but we're coming for that ass, too, eventually. Wild time. You think Howie Roseman, same type of guy? Is that you think? You got to think these billionaires probably don't have a lot of friends, right?
Yeah, probably
not.
Billionaires, I don't think are noted super friends with people. I don't think they have big friend groups. I don't think you hear like, oh, that person's a billionaire. They got a lot of friends. Normally, it's like a close circle. Let's keep this thing tight. So whenever somebody comes in, maybe you get along with, and you become friends. Okay, here we go. Maybe that's what happens. I don't know. I have no idea. But it is interesting that old Easterby has really nestled his way in there down there, and it seems like everybody with knowledge of the situation is like, not good. That is not good for what's going on down there.
Exactly.
That's wild.
And it sounds like the owner really doesn't care.
Well, you're gonna burn hell.
Well, if they make the trade, if the Texans make the trade with Jacksonville, per se, and they can get Trevor Lawrence and swing Deshaun Watson for him.
There's no way Urban Meyer or Shad Khan are going to let Trevor Lawrence get out of the Southeast. There's no way in hell. Ticket prices have already gone up 8x, or ticket sales have already gone 8x in Jacksonville with the hiring of Urban Meyer. I would assume if you keep Trevor Lawrence in that area, it's only going to go up even more. I mean, that would be, now Deshaun Watson, I guess, the same exact school.
Same thing.
You're right. You're 100% right. But he's out now, years now. He's more associated with the Houston Texans than he is with that place, right?
Yeah.
But Michael Lombardi said something very interesting. He said if he was Casario, Casario?
Yeah, Casario.
He'd be on a plane to Clemson to talk to Dabo about how he wins over Deshaun Watson again. Ooh. That's what he would be doing. Hey, what do I need to do here? I didn't fully understand, I don't think. Well, Easterby, I mean, he was a nice guy to me up there. I didn't know he was fucking doing what he's doing down here. And then Dabo would say, you got to get TikTok with the drip.
Oh, sweeties, got that drip.
That was awesome. That's real. He's on TikTok.
Can't believe it. You know how many 5 stars he got because of that TikTok?
What is
worth it?
Oh, recruits?
Yeah, recruits.
Man, I appreciate these 17-year-old kids being much less judgmental than I would be.
Yeah.
If I saw him on there with the gloves.
Ooh.
All right, that's the last place I'm going to go.
Hickory dickory dock.
Imagine Rich Rod on TikTok.
Oh, man.
Like, he got your piss hot?
That'd be awesome, though, if he was just on there screaming at things, or cars even going by.
Hey, fuck, use your blinker. Yeah. Pain in my ass.
That's a stop sign.
He is. A lot of good responses, by the way, that Rich Rodriguez interview last week.
Yeah.
A lot of good responses.
Former players?
Former teammates,
yeah.
Wow. A lot of stories, a lot of reminiscing happening on social medias right now amongst the Facebook pages and things like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. There was a story that came out from the year before I got there that Darius Reynaud, who was also on our offense, one of the most athletic person I've ever seen in real life. Yeah.
Damn.
Yep. Man, that's a big, bold statement.
Yeah, went to a Pro Bowl.
And I had to wonder how many people I was pissing off with that statement, too. You know what I mean? Whenever I said that with everybody else. But he used to get into a squat rack, and it would just bend around his back. And he would just do a standing backflip where I used to be able to do a backflip in college. No big deal. It was a party trick of mine until one time the party was a little bit too late in the night, and I almost broke my neck or whatever. But I would just, my backflip would be feet up, feet down. You know what I mean? Like it was a struggle to get over there. He was able to jump straight up, do a spin, and then come back down and land. He was one of our wide receivers. He played running back in the NFL. He was a returner in the NFL. He was just an absolute stud. He told a story about Rich Rod in a team meeting that I did not know about, and I will not do it justice. But basically, Rich was really good at calling people out without saying their name. And I guess he was talking about Slim, Chris Henry, who was there. And I guess Chris Henry had this moment with Rich Rod where he flipped his dreads back and said something like, I was just keeping it real. And Rich said, get the fuck out. And Chris Henry just got up and left. It was just the amount of stories that have come out, from that era at West Virginia is just amazing. I hope those Louisiana Monroe boys know what they're in for.
Get ready.
Hey, you are going to work, boys. And it's going to be comical, but in the moment, you're going to be scared or motivated or feel terrible about yourself.
Well, you won't lose 10 games, though.
You will not lose 10. They will not lose. I don't know what the over-under is going to be. I'm hammering the over as soon as he gets down there. Rhett Rodriguez pulling the trigger too.
Come on.
Let's go to Alice in Chino Hills. What's going on, Alice? It's California.
Hi, Pat.
Hi, Alice. What part of it's Southern California, Chino Hills.
I don't know. I'm sure the Ball brothers are.
Where's Chino Hills at?
It's where the Ball brothers are from, yeah.
Is that what part of? Way to go. What part of California is that in?
It's kind of sad.
Like Inland Empire?
Inland Empire.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Of course.
I think.
I don't know where that is.
No clue.
It's near Riverside, Pomona.
Oh, Pomona, that's south.
Okay, Riverside also.
San Diego over by there.
Alice, what do you want to talk about? Congrats on the Ball brothers coming out of there, by the way. They are a duo. I guess there's three of them that are absolutely balling out there. What do you want to talk about, Alice?
So as a Packers fan, people always try to tell me that Tom Brady is a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers because of the Super Bowl wins. But considering the coaching and Aaron's injuries, would you say that's fair to say?
Alice, great question. And that is classic sports talk. Alice, you look them right in the face and you say, the quarterback for my team is the greatest quarterback of all time. Mm-hmm. And you feel very comfortable saying it because that is a very valid statement. I think whenever you talk about greatest of all time, you have to always take into account situations. All right. It's just like whenever you watch that Jordan documentary, if you weren't a big basketball fan growing up and you've heard the debates about Jordan or LeBron, whenever you watch that Jordan documentary, you go, oh, they weren't even playing the same sport. Michael Jordan and LeBron James aren't even playing the same sport.
No, that's not true.
You know what I mean? You got people back whenever Jordan was playing, he was dribbling that thing above his, there's people and not getting the ball stolen. They're like taking it to the rack, dribbling like this.
And then Jordan took it and dunked in their faces all day.
Jordan was unbelievable.
Thank you.
Jordan was absolutely unbelievable. Okay, game changer. I wear his goddamn shoes every single day.
Yeah.
Okay? I am a Jordan fan. But as somebody that was a novice on basketball information growing up, watching that Jordan documentary made me learn about a lot about his competitive drive and everything about him. But the thing, my big takeaway was, oh, those guys fucking stunk at basketball. The guys he was playing against stunk at basketball.
Yeah, there were no Kevin Durant's back in the day, no James Hardens, and no LeBron James clearly.
Listen, they're good, okay?
They're great.
They're good at basketball, those people.
those guys are good,
I'm saying they go to LA Fitness, they beat me even at their age. But whenever you look at the NBA now versus what the NBA was then, it's two different sports. So I don't think you can say this guy's the GOAT or this guy's the GOAT because guess what? They're both the GOATs of their time.
Yes.
Okay? That's what I'm thinking.
But MJ still carries over to this generation.
And you're from Chicago, so you should feel like that. Just like Alice, who's a Green Bay Packer fan, she should feel like that with Aaron. Just like Tom Brady fan should feel like that with Tom, because everything is situations are situations.
That's right.
Obviously.
You can only play with and against whoever you can play against. It's not Jordan's fault that he was playing against Boston Connor and Ty in the fucking NBA Finals. Okay, that's not Jordan's fault. Jordan changed the game completely. So I don't want to knock him for that or lift up LeBron because of that. I'm just saying this is not a conversation. That is two different sports that they're playing. And in football, I would assume having Belichick helped Tom become the player that he is today. Okay, I would assume the situation of football and everything like that. But on the flip side of that, is Tom Brady a better ball thrower than Aaron Rodgers? There's no way you can say that.
No way.
Okay, Tom throws incredible football, but Aaron Rodgers is the greatest thrower of things that has ever happened. I mean, he puts the ball in the little keyholes at this point. And if you think Mike McCarthy, that team almost quit on him in Dallas after 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm not saying that he wasn't a great coach in Green Bay. It's just you have to take the situations into account. That's why it's impossible to say one person is the greatest of all time, because there's a lot of circumstances out of their control that you have to also account for. That's my speech on GOATs.
That's right.
Well said. Well stated.
LeBron would average 60 and have 15 assists and maybe 35 rebounds.
And they get shut out by Jordan every time.
Yeah.
And he would have hit that game-winning shot last night.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He did miss a game winner.
Did he? Didn't Jordan miss a free throw in one of the finals?
He did.
He also had 6.
Stumble into
and
the
they also had to
stadium
pass
with a
it
bottle of
to
wine.
Steve Kerr
Let
to
the
hit the
ball
winner.
roll out of
I never heard about those.
No, he
never.
LeBron against the Mavericks and stuff.
He had to do AA
Hey, dude,
over the
put
year.
some respect on Dirk Nowitzki's name. All right, jeez.
We got to get to a break, dude. Buda Baker's on the other side.
LeBron's.
And by the way, when it's all said and done, one of the greatest safeties of all time.
One of the goats.
Can't wait to talk to him. We'll also talk to Aaron Rodgers about 37, 38 minutes or so from now. Hope you're enjoying this Tuesday, January 19, 2021. We have no idea why you listen or watch, but we are very grateful for it. Buda Baker will join us on the other side. You got about 4 minutes to Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio.
You know, I sometimes laugh when people talk about, you know, down years for me, because a lot of times down years for me are career years for most quarterbacks.
That was awesome.
Hey, it's just the facts, bro.
You and me, I think, are the only people that can do it, dude.
That's old hat, Pat. I've been doing that for years. I've learned that in high school.
Hey, can you explain when you actually say the words hard count in your hard count and it works?
Yeah, did you? Was that trolling? That was definitely trolling.
I saw that. No, why would I say hard count? That's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. I did not say hard count.
I want to know what's this bye week like for you, man? Like,
So COVID test every day, and at some point you got to let adults be adults and make decisions, understand the consequences. We can't hold everybody by the hand.
Yeah, a bubble would be awesome, Aaron. Put you guys all in one big hotel, huh?
Yeah, I won't be a big fan of that. All
I guess not.
The fucking media does is write stories to get clicks. So it doesn't matter. Like, I can give a long answer about something, and they can take a blip of it and write a story about it that has nothing to do with what I was saying.
so how do you know what to believe then, A-Rod?
I think you just have to be skeptical in general. I think that's having an open mind, is being skeptical and not just believing everything at face value, and do your own research and not just listen to something because somebody told you, some blue check mark on Twitter told you to believe something. You should have an open mind and feel into what you think is the truth.
Hey, you were preaching right there, sir. You were preaching right there.
Pretty big breaking news.
Oh,
no.
What's that? Oh, he got God. Oh, he got God. He got God. Oh, shit. Tony. We got to get to a goddamn break. Can't happen. Can't win with it. Everything I just said was wrong.
It would have been cool though if it was right.
It would have been cool, wouldn't it? Diggs just got it darn Schefter. Oh my
It was at Ultra Weed Hater.
He got
blocking her. What was it doing on my timeline?
Bro, McCockner's just jujuing on me.
Dance with me.
I didn't think I could continue to be an FCC regulated person without really hitting my max potential.
And that's why he's with us. I love it. The Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Welcome back to that show. I just want to let you know that you need to know about something.
Oh, yeah.
You need to know.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
Current is the new way to bank. It's a mobile bank with a Visa debit card.
Oh, that thing is sweet.
Holy. That black card. You get a
Wow.
black card.
What?
You bank with Current, you get a black card.
That thing is unbelievable.
It's a Visa debit card. I don't know. Are you zooming in, Foxy, right now? Which one? This one?
Yep.
Zoom in on it.
Cool.
Wow.
Look at that cool design in there.
You bank with Current, you get one of these cards. Imagine whenever you're allowed to go eat in public again. Okay. Imagine, or you're allowed to go out again.
Oh.
At the end of an evening, you go ahead and just plop this bad boy right down on the thing. Guess what's going to happen? Legend forever in everybody's eyes at the bar.
Hell yeah.
It is pretty sweet.
Is that
That
stainless
thing is
steel?
so cool.
Yes, it is very sweet.
Outlined.
Current is great because they help you. Get you paid up to 2 days faster. There are no hidden fees or minimum balance requirements. Has a free overdraft of up to $100.
Wow.
Instant refunds on gas station holds, Connor. Earn points on purchases that are redeemable for cash. It's the only card that gets you points for cash stuff.
Need it now.
Yes.
It only takes 2 minutes to sign up and cards ship for free. Click the link in the bio if you're watching on YouTube. We appreciate that. And if not, if you're listening, go to current.com/Pat and become a Current banker and be pretty sweet.
Hell yeah.
Look at that black card, dude.
Unbelievable. I've never seen colors on the outside of
Yeah,
a
man, that's the
card like
coolest
that.
card I've ever seen.
Never seen
Yeah.
colors on.
Yeah, you should have it.
Card.
You should have it at home. Current.com/Pat.
It's clean.
It is clean.
It's got the beep thing, too. You can just press it right on there.
Yeah, and you can just throw it. Yeah.
See ya.
And then you can, got the chip
The
thing. You
beep
can
thing.
do the thing.
Yeah, it's 2020.
It does have the beep thing.
The beep
One.
thing.
Beep, beep.
Shout out to Current. Current.com/Pat. A lot of good shit there, too. $100 overdraft thing and all that.
Yeah, that's all. The gas station holds are big.
This is the new way to bank, dude.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a man that was drafted 36th overall to the University of Washington. He has recently become the highest paid safety in NFL history. Congrats to him. And watching him play football is an absolute joy. He is a maniac on the field, seems to make every single play. Ladies and gentlemen, All-Pro and Pro Bowler safety for the Arizona Cardinals, Buda Baker.
Good.
What's going on, Buda? Where are you at right now? Are you in Arizona for the offseason or are you somewhere else?
Man. Yeah, I'm in Arizona, just out here at the house chilling, but I'll be in different places soon.
Smart. Enjoy your off season. Are you in the house that Larry Fitzgerald just built and sold for $18 million in Arizona?
Oh, man, I wish. I was definitely there before, and that, I say, was a sight to see.
I could fathom. You've been dominant out there in Arizona, obviously, and I got a chance to talk to some of your teammates about you, and they say he's an incredibly nice guy and absolutely works his ass off. Coming out of Washington, 36th overall, you were kind of somebody that wasn't a nationally recognized name. Then you sign your contract, highest safety in NFL history. Congrats, by the way.
Yeah.
Well deserved. And then this year, it was kind of like a Buda Baker show. You know what I mean? And whenever you're going into a game, do you just think, I'm going to make every single tackle on every single play? Is that your mindset whenever you go out there?
Oh man, not really. I mean, I'm trying to honestly just think on whatever the play call is and just doing my job. And I'm kind of like the eraser. I play safety, so 9 times out of 10, if the ball gets past me, it's either going to be a huge play or a touchdown. So, I'm just trying to get as much tackles as I can, as much interceptions or sacks as possible, and that's just doing my job mentality.
As we're talking here, and you're obviously very humble here the way you're talking, I remember a mic'd up, I think, between you and Chandler Jones, where you tackled somebody, and I think you said, "I ain't scared of anybody," I believe was your exact quote or whatever. Is my brain literally just remembered that happened this year, right?
Oh man, that happened in 2019. I wish it happened in 19, but people might have just saw the video last year.
Yeah, you absolutely. I mean, you slaughter people whenever you're hitting people. Is that something that you take a lot of pride in? Do you have to build your body up for that? Is that just naturally how you've always played? Have you always been a heavy hitter? Have you had to adjust at all since getting into the NFL? You've made it look very easy, obviously.
Yeah, well, growing up, I was always I played offense and defense, so it was, running back or safety, and just having that mentality growing up, just to have no fear whoever I'm hitting. I'm on the smaller side, 5'10", 190, 195. So, I just think about speed. If I hit somebody at my fastest, then 9 times out of 10. I'll get them down. So as long as I do that, then, I can make a lot of tackles.
You're just looking for collisions, it sounds like. Whenever you're do you ever have fears, obviously, with the new rules on where you're allowed to hit, where you're not allowed to hit? Has that changed your style of play at all, or are you young enough that you've been brought up in the strike zone era, so it doesn't really change much for you?
A little bit of both. I'm young enough. I brought up to the strike zone era, shoulder tackling, going to University of Washington with Chris Peterson, who's the head coach at the time. Now it's Jimmy Lake, who was my DB coach at the time. And, we watched a lot of film of rugby players and how they kept their head out the game and how they would smack guys with their shoulder. And, yeah, I have got a couple fines that have been rescinded. I haven't used with my head. People might think that it's my head because I'm coming in with such fast force intentions, bad intentions, and they think it's my head, but it's really my shoulder. And, what I've got this past year was a lot of times when I go to make tackles, a lot of guys would duck their head. So it would be a hard strike zone for me to get. So
okay, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Sorensen the other night in the Chiefs-Browns game with the touchdown touchback thing. A lot of people were complaining about the head-to-head, but going down that low, it has to be very hard, especially when you're hitting like you full speed every time. It has to be very hard to kind of keep your head out of that.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is, and you just got to try your best too. You got to lean in with that shoulder, whatever shoulder it is. Especially for him, it was on that goal line, so you got to kind of hit high in a sense, because if you go for the legs, they can, jump over top of you or do something. They'll be able to get in the end zone. So you kind of have to go high. Not saying that your head is going to hit the other player, but you have to strike them with your shoulder. And what I saw out of him was he was clearly trying to strike him with his shoulder, but as you see, the head can get down. And if that was me, I bet you that would have been a fine, but a fine, a penalty, some crazy stuff. I'm a dirty player, all that type of stuff. But hey, kudos to him. He got their team not to score, the other team not to score a touchdown, and actually gave the ball back to the Chiefs. And at that time, that was very special for the Chiefs. So.
Yeah, huge, obviously, and they're still talking about it to this day. Let's talk about what you said there. If that was me, I'd get a fine. Do you think refs call you differently? Do you think refs in particular, or do you think it's media? What do you think it is?
I mean, honestly, I think it might be media, maybe. But you never know. I mean, I never want to put anything on the media or the refs, but, there's been one hit where I used my shoulder and I got the fine rescinded. And then the next week, there was a flag, but then it was picked up because, they see that 32 and they're like, oh man, you might have hit him with his head. And even if they don't see it, but,
hey, they said that about me too. Hey, Buddha, that's what they said about me too. I had to go do it. Hey, what quarterback? Obviously, now you've played. I'm just going to assume you've played against everybody. What quarterback do you enjoy the chess match between you and them? Because I would assume safeties are what quarterbacks are looking at a lot of the time. I assume a lot of people are reading where you are in the box or outside of it. What quarterback has really been a joy, you think, to kind of joust against?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I haven't played a lot of QBs back to back. I played the Aaron Rodgers. I played the Patrick Mahomes, but those were just one games, and those guys are best quarterbacks in this NFL in the league. So, but really, if you were talking about division wise, it would kind of just be like Russell Wilson. Just going against him, knowing that Russell Wilson can keep their team in the game, no matter who they play, and he's a great player. And I love when I'm showing down the edge and he's miking me, Mike and Buddha. So I love going against guys like that.
Buddha's in. Count 32, and it's probably going to be a head-to-head hit, by the way. Got him in there. What do you got, Connor?
Yeah, Buddha, have you been to Cliff Kingsbury's house, and why is it the coolest thing in Arizona?
It's awesome.
Man, I've never been to his house, but someone told me we're damn near next door neighbors. So.
Oh, so your house? Hey, I was trying to look in the back there. You do have a nice spread. Congrats, well warranted, highest paid safety of all time. But does your house rival what Cliff's look? Cliff's looks like a drug lord's house.
Yeah,
that thing was. Yeah.
Hey, Cliff's house is nice. I just saw the pictures, but I don't know about my house. I mean, it might be a couple stages under Cliff. But, I don't know.
What was Cliff like? What was Cliff like whenever he got the job? Young. He was just the offensive coordinator for USC for a month and a half or whatever. He was a head coach in college, and then all of a sudden he's in the NFL. Here we go. What was it like with the transition into Cliff Kingsbury?
Yeah, just a young, cool guy, knows what to do, knows the guys on the team, definitely wanting to get to know us. But really a guy who's strictly into football, a guy who, loves football, loves offense, loves, being with that quarterback and, making better QBs better, like Kyler Murray and stuff like that. So, he's had the track record of having a lot of great QBs and going into the NFL, being able to pick Kyler Murray. And now that they're here, they're doing great things. And he's just a great guy. I'm glad to have him as my head coach.
Buddha, you guys this year, there was moments of just unbelievable. It was like, okay, the Cardinals are here. Then there would be a little bit of a drop-off. Then there would be, we're back. Then there would be a little bit of a drop-off. And I'm not talking about players individually. I'm talking about as a team. Why was that, you think? And how do you guys get to that next level? Because there were some games where watching you guys was fucking awesome. I mean, offense, defense, everything, special teams was cooking. And then there was a couple games where it was like, all right, what's going on here? And we all know the 2020 season was a pain in the ass with COVID and everything going on. But what do you think it's going to take to make the Cardinals be the consistent great team that you guys showed flashes of this last season?
Yeah, exactly like you said, we showed a lot of flashes. And like you said as well, consistency. For us, I mean, I honestly feel like if we take it, day by day, week by week, we'll be a very great team. And I'm super excited for next year. Being one of those leaders on the team, I can definitely emphasize that if we can take it week by week, day by day, we're going to be a hell of a team. So that's what I'm going to continue to do. And I know we have a great offense, great weapons on offense, great defense, great weapons on defense. And like you said, special teams as well. For me, being a defensive player and making the special teams as a Pro Bowl, going to Pro Bowl with special teams my rookie year, it's definitely excited and great to see our special teams each and every week because sometimes those boys give me juice. So I'm definitely excited to see what's in store this next year.
Hey, so am I. I was a Cardinals supporter this year. I enjoyed watching your guys' games. It was a lot of fun. I mean, it was a blast. You've answered this 100 times. You had no idea, huh? You had no idea. You had no idea.
Yeah, you're right. You're definitely right. Honestly, also, it was a long drive. You know them long drives. You're tired. Defense, offense, they're battling. It's the red zone. Go hurry up. I'm in the post. I'm a post player. I shouldn't even be doing that. But I just saw the back go to the flat. Saw Russell try to load it to him because he saw the linebackers or anybody going to the running back, and I just took my shot. And right when I caught it, I saw who was in front of me, which was Russell Wilson. I could honestly say I've never been caught from behind before, so I was never worrying about who was behind me. I was only worrying about who was in front of me. So I see Russell get the ball. I'm like, all right, it's nice. Beat Russell. I'm good. I'm in the end zone. Hell, my sideline. I'm on my own sideline. Everyone's yelling. I can't really hear it because I'm in my zone, just trying to get to the end zone. Next thing you know, I kind of hear some footsteps. And I finally look up in the Jumbotron, and I'm like, this dude is coming up on me fast. So I turn around just to see like how much time I have, because I was thinking about either cutting to the right or just trying to stiff arm him. I just didn't know how much time I had. So I turned around and he was right there. So I was like, I can't really stiff arm him. The angle of the stiff arm would have been bad. It would have messed my shoulder up or something. So, I just had to take it, and he tackled me. Great job for DK. I'm just glad we didn't let their offense get any points that drive.
Well, I'll tell you what, that is the forgotten storyline in that entire thing. Is that's a massive turnover in the red zone. That's a big deal. The story, though, is the memes of fucking, that was the running form by him was maybe the greatest knee drive arm swing I've ever seen in my entire life.
You remember that tempo run game? You jump over it and slide. That's how he was looking. He was trying to get me, and he got me. So, hey.
Hell of a play. It was amazing. And DK is obviously a freak athlete, as are you, by the way. And I would never be in that situation. So thank you for taking us inside of that. I don't know if I'll ever run that far ever again, let alone with a ball and somebody trying to tackle me. So I appreciate that immensely. Ty?
Buddha, when you look at like all the different guys in your division, you go up against a lot of tough wide receivers, but who's like one guy that, I'm guessing you're not really losing sleep over anyone, but like who's one guy who you really have to be on your P's and Q's to be successful against?
Honestly, my 4 years being with the Cardinals, we have not beat the Rams with McVay. So their receivers, as in, Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, are definitely guys that are slept on, that I think are really good. They're their third zone targets. The ball is going to them, and somehow they still get the ball to them, and they're a great offense. Sean McVay's offense, I would say, is kind of like my receivers kind of. That offense is just so different, or so much the same but so different. They could run the ball in the same set. They can boot out of it. They could throw a screen. As a defense, that's definitely hard because we go off of what are their tendencies and what do they like to do when they're in this formation or that formation. But with the Rams, they can do the same formation, but so many different plays.
And do you think that's why everybody that knew Sean McVay got a head coaching job? Like everybody that had potentially even had met Sean McVay got a head coaching job immediately after they saw it. Is it because the offense is just so basic yet intricate and tough to break down?
Yeah, exactly. You're right about that because
Cliff.
Yeah, it's so easy but so hard. It's weird.
Hey, what's the biggest hit do you have like a favorite hit you've ever had, or a favorite tackle you've made, or any favorite play that you've made?
Yeah. Favorite play really, last year my interception versus Dallas, I think, versus Andy Dalton. That was a very fun interception for me because that was my first interception being in the NFL, and also just the route combination and what defense we were playing. it was something. It was like a quarters defense, and I was a safety, and I was looking at 3-2. So if 3 goes under, now I'm kind of playing quarters on my 2. If 2 goes shallow, I gotta hit it, and my corner will be over top. So 3 went shallow, 2 ran a slant, and I just shot it, and the ball was right there, dove for the interception.
Now, there's a lot of people listening and watching that have no fucking idea what you just said, but from outside in, 1, 2, 3 is the inside receiver. You have to drop in a quarter, that whole thing. If you don't know, we're not going to break it down right now, but I think what I heard you just say is the reason why it was your favorite play is, and you said this, I think, on the Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf play as well, where you weren't supposed to be where you were, and I would assume in this particular situation, it was you understanding what was happening. Is that why it's like you got to a point, and I'm not saying that this year was the first year you've got to this point, but do you feel you're at the point where you know pretty much what the hell's going on? And is that why McVay's offense is so difficult? Because everybody talks about Luke Kuechly, whenever he was on the field, he was going to call out what the play was going to be, and he's normally right. Do you feel that is one of the big parts of your game, is you know what the fuck's going to go on, and like Troy Polamalu of the past would kind of make a ad-lib style play whenever you're not supposed to be in a place because of intuition that you had?
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Good for you.
And like you said too, for me, it's my 4th year in the league, my 3rd coaching staff. So my first coaching staff, total new defense. Then my 2nd year happens, total new defense. Then my 3rd year happens, total new defense. And now the 4th year is that first year that I'm able to have that same defense as my 3rd year. So just being able to learn the same stuff all over again for the 2nd year in a row, and kind of know the pros and cons of each defense, and know what the offense is trying to do to you. That is a lot for me, and that's why I feel like I had a season like I did this year.
Nobody ever talks about the defensive side of the ball changing coordinators. Always the offense. You know what I mean? It's always like offensive coordinator changes. Nobody ever talks about defense. It's like, yeah, this guy's had 3 different defense coordinators in 4 years. Nobody ever talks about like, oh, maybe this guy would like to get comfortable so that he can go make a play. Never gets talked about. I would like to let you know, Buddha, we will talk about that around here.
Hell yeah.
From this point forward. Okay, Diggs, what do you got?
Buddha, Pat just brought up Troy Polamalu. Is there any current safeties or past safeties that you watch film on to try to pick up things from?
I mean, there's, of course, the Tyrann Matthews going into getting drafted. He was here in with the Arizona Cardinals, so it was definitely great to learn from him being an all-pro safety and a safety who is of my stature. And it was definitely, good to learn from him and also watch their film. Guys like Kevin Byard, who's really good at getting the ball, Eddie Jackson, Fitzpatrick. All these different safeties that all can do different things that I love to watch film on and love to get things after. So, yeah.
You ever watch my film out there, Buddha?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, man. Man, them 50-yard punts.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Need you a gunner, dude. Need you a gunner, bro. Fucking let's go.
I know.
Hey, we appreciate you, man. Every check that you get is well-deserved and earned. We appreciate your time today. Hope the Cardinals continue to get better, as do you, ladies and gentlemen, all-pro, Pro Bowler, Buddha Baker. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, appreciate you, Buddha. Cool dude.
Yeah. Awesome.
First time we ever talked. That was really cool.
Guy you want to root for.
Yeah, I'm fucking pulling for Buddha Baker.
Absolutely.
I mean, almost like get a Buddha Baker jersey type thing. I would never wear it, but like, put it up somewhere.
Uh-huh.
He fucking brings the wood, by the way.
Yeah.
5'10", 185, 190, he said. He's watch rugby videos. They figured out a way to get their heads out of it at full speed, so I figured I could. What an animal.
It's wild flipping the switch like that, because it's, again, like, it's the same guy. Like, you talk to him, it's like, oh, this guy's so mild-mannered and, like, polite and nice, and then, like, on the football field, he's just a fucking maniac.
I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
Him breaking down plays.
Yes.
I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm. When you guys talk, like, the next level football that, us pedestrians don't really understand, it's awesome.
Well, I was privy to those conversations, like, in the cafeteria or in the locker room or whatever, on the plane or anything like that. And I would just be listening, and I'm like, this is really fascinating, by the way. I had no idea that y'all motherfuckers were like working physics on this.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, if you come down at this angle, I'll be able to get to this angle and that whole thing. It's like, that's the difference, by the way. in college football in the men's league, right, is you got people that just spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours a day to get a tiny little advantage mentally so that they can beat you. And that's why anybody says a college football team can beat a men's league team is just an absolute buffoon. We've known a couple. We've known a couple that have said it.
Bama's pretty good.
Oh, boy.
That U team in 2000, maybe.
Yeah, but just think about how much smarter all those you guys are now playing football. Imagine them as adults playing against that. I mean, that's just, I mean, there's some dum-dums in the NFL, I'd assume, just like every place. But the football IQ on a lot of guys is just so high. That's why the coaching-player relationship is much different than it is in college or in high school, not only because the ages and the money and everything like that, but it's also a lot of guys in the NFL are like, hey, coach, like, yeah, I've been around football a long fucking time too. Like they say, I'm not in the learning fundamentals stage anymore, okay? I actually have some ideas for you I think we should do. And that coach is like, yeah, we're in this together a lot more so than the I'm in charge, you don't even speak at dinner. Those types of guys normally get run out of the league very quickly. Shout out Petrino.
And in college, too, like, are the seniors helping out the freshmen as much as, like, a 10-year guy's helping out a rookie?
Well, a 10-year guy, by the way, is helping out a rookie strictly because the rookie's just following that person around, seeing what the hell they're doing. Get in their back pocket is always the thing that is said. If you see a guy at your position that is a veteran, go ahead and follow them around and figure out how the fuck they've lasted in this league for that long. And that's kind of the way it is. So, and I think a lot of people always expect, like, the older player to, you know, coach. And it comes out like Ben Roethlisberger is choosing not to go. Or something like, will Aaron Rodgers be a good teammate to Jordan Love? It's like, in the NFL, that's not their job, okay? If you would like to ask me questions or follow along with me, cool. But it's not my job to make sure you're prepared to do your job. If you're going to get a chance to watch Aaron Rodgers from a front row seat, okay, and watch everything that he does, you're learning more than anything ever. Ben Roethlisberger, same way. If you get a chance to watch Ben, what film he watches, how he watches film, what he's breaking down, why he's looking at what, that is the type of learning thing where senior freshmen in college, I think it's more like a brotherhood where the coaches are doing all the teaching. A lot of the seniors are just trying to tell the freshmen how to get through all the shit. Like, hey, this is how you survive this workout.
Rich Rod will calm down eventually.
Hey, this is it seems a bit hot right now, but this will be good for you in the long, that type of thing. The dynamics of an NFL locker room and the NFL brains are just so awesome. That's why I was very excited for the show, to be honest with you. Like, not this show today, even though it's Aaron Rodgers Tuesday in like 6 minutes. But I'm talking about this show in general, getting a chance to speak to people, because there's no way Buda Baker would ever get offered a television job. No way.
Probably not. No.
Buda Baker would not. He's too quiet. Should, though. That's what I'm saying. And you would normally never hear Buda unless you followed him on Twitter or something else like that. Getting a chance to chat with him and listening to why the highest paid safety of all time is the highest paid safety of all time is it's pretty cool. And you don't hear that often. And I'm very thankful for this opportunity to do that. And thankful for Buda joining us, just like every single Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. I'm very thankful for one of the GOATs for stopping by. We got about a minute and a half until the break. Was going to sneak in a phone call, but if it's a long-winded call, it's going to be tough now that we're even talking through this a little bit more. We got about 6 minutes coming on the other side of this 1 minute where people are going to get a chance to go into the bathroom, maybe freshen up a little bit, get some mouthwash, maybe go ahead and hit the Visine, hit the bong maybe. Do whatever you got to do to get into the proper headspace to know that a conversation's coming with a man that just had an epic performance in a divisional round and going into the NFC Championship game against Tom Brady at home in Lambeau. He did not have his long john on last week. He did not think it was cold enough. And I think as soon as we saw that, we all knew, okay, we're in for a good game here. I guess this Sunday's supposed to be cold as hell. Ty Schmidt might be in attendance. Aaron Rodgers seems to be playing football better than he's ever played football before. Our conversations with him every single Tuesday seem to be interesting to people, seem to be insightful. And for me, you get a chance to look inside one of the greatest NFL seasons a quarterback has ever had. That continues in about 6 minutes. Hour 2 wrapping up here on SiriusXM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Big thanks to Buda Baker. On the other side, we got AJ Hawk, Aaron Rodgers, some great conversation, and hopefully something that'll make you say, it was worth fucking listening to or watching. We got 6 minutes. We'll see you on the other side. Cheers. Why is football the greatest sport on earth? And do you think football is the greatest sport on earth? And why do you like football?
That's a really deep question there, Pat.
I know. I think I'd get a good answer out of you, though. Like, I think you'd be able to talk about it in a way that I think a lot of people haven't, because you've been at the pinnacle of it for so damn long and inside of it, and your brain is a pretty fantastic one. We've learned here over the last few weeks, obviously. Last few weeks, that's it. That's all the time we've learned that.
I think it's the greatest sport in the world for One main reason: it is a true team sport where it is damn near impossible for one person to dominate an entire game. And if you look at other team sports, basketball with 5 guys on the court, I think you've seen multiple players over the years. Maybe one player, or maybe 1 or 2 players on a squad be able to dominate and win championships. Baseball, you can have a dominant pitcher and win championships. Soccer, you can have a dominant forward and or goalie. That seems to be a little more of a team sport, but you don't have 11 players engaged at the same time on every play. It is truly a sport reliant on every player on the field to do their job in order to be successful. And I think that's why at times, certain star players can get maybe too much credit and maybe too much blame on the flip side, because it does take so many players at the same time in 3 phases to win football games. And I think that's the beauty and the draw of our sport, is that something new happens all the time, because you are literally dealing with 11 humans on the field at one time who all have lives outside of football, and there's distractions, there's a reliance on coaching, there's a reliance on preparation, there's a reliance on diet and performance. I just think there's so many facets to it that you see something new every single week, and I think that's the beauty in our game. When it comes to the love that I have for it, it's rooted, and I think like any player who's played for a long time, the love is not just about our sport, it's about competition. And I think there's nothing in the world for me that fills that need and that hole I have like competition. I think players who played for a long time at a high level, you have that need to be satiated competitively, and it's a love of going out there and going against guys and being in an environment where you know that nothing is guaranteed. And that's why I, at times, I've taken umbrage to people saying that it's easy, because it's not easy. It's never easy. And I think that's the beauty in our game, is that you see things new every single week. It's never easy. And your only thing you're guaranteed is the ability to compete. I love that aspect of it. I love competing. I love going out there and harnessing the fear of failure, where I think so many people who maybe don't love football as much, the root of that is a deep fear of failure, that you might go out there and your best might not be good enough, and that's not okay with you. A couple people, one college kid, took a shot at my swag.
We noticed.
We know. We don't like that
I
kid.
don't think a lot of people understand what swag is. Some of this younger generation thinks, swag is just like the clothes I wear or whatever. No. Swag is a mentality. Yeah. Swag is a mindset. I tried to tell this to some of the guys in the locker room this week. I said swagger, which is what swag comes from. Swagger is a mindset. Swagger isn't that you have a Supreme backpack on. Or that you have your shoes, unlaced, walking around with, you got your new Louis fanny pack that you make sure it's not worn at your waist, it's worn over your shoulder. That's not swag. That's not swagger. That's fashion choices. True swag is owning your inner essence. It's a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And my essence on the field is that I feel like I'm a throwback player and I'm a tough guy. What I've played through, how I wear my stuff, I'm kind of a no-nonsense, straightforward. To me, that's what swag is all about.
You're damn
all
right.
this like fake swag out there. I got my special towel. I got this. I got that. I got this writing out there. A lot of you guys are just posers.
All right.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
One fight at a time, fellas.
The Pat McAfee Show.
That's right.
Welcome back to that show. It is Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, January 19th, 2021, 2:02 Eastern Standard Time, different times, wherever the hell you may be, whatever it is, hour 3 is a good time to be listening or watching. Joining us now is two men. One man, college football national champion and Super Bowl champion and greatest chin in all of sports media.
Whoa.
And the other man, a man who is the NFL's MVP this season. A man who just had a win in the divisional round over the Los Angeles Rams. The man who did not wear his long john underwear because he said it isn't that cold. And as soon as we saw it, we all upped our bets mightily on the Green Bay Packers. Ladies and gentlemen, Green Bay Packers quarterback, all-pro, humanitarian quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah!
Say when, dude.
AJ, you're back, man.
Yeah, I'm here. You were on early last week because you had a big game, but yeah, good job. I heard you and Pat had a good little chat.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad conversation.
Yeah. I heard you take a couple shots at me, but
Oh, AJ did. Yeah, last week after the conversation, he did take a couple shots. I was going to send the message, but I didn't want to drive a wedge between the friendship because honestly, it's a beautiful thing. Aaron, game was on Saturday. Get a big win. Did you celebrate? How do we celebrate? Did you just go squat? Is that what you did immediately after that big win?
yeah, I went down to the gym, power lift, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, and made sure I got a couple sets in. Just standard procedure.
Had to do it.
No, I definitely had a couple fingers, scotch.
Oh yeah, you were doing those full fucking glasses.
I actually treated myself to a cigar as well.
Oh, an AJ Hawk.
Probably the same type of cigar that AJ's puffing on right now.
Hey, you should have been celebrating that performance. You were unbelievable out there. There's a couple internet viral moments that happened that I would like to talk to you about. Before Alan Lazard's touchdown, okay, zoomed in on your face, very tight on your face. I saw the video. You literally look at the defense and you go, Allen, and then you just pointed to the end zone, okay? And then seconds later, ball snapped, throw ball, Alan Lazard to the end zone. What did you see? And were you surprised that the Rams didn't hear you actually go, hey, Allen, and then just point at the end zone and nobody do anything? Or how did that can you walk us through that entire process? Because it was very fascinating.
That's not what happened.
That's what happened. Allen, need you to score a touchdown. It's basically what you just said. It's basically what happened.
That's not really what happened. I was surprised that was actually the play where they caught my half smile or whatever. I'm not exactly sure what that was from, but I do know that I was reminding Alan that he was bluffing off of the safety before he ran his route. So the whole route is looking like the run. That's what we do so well. We match up the run with the pass. So he was running in there looking like he was blocking the safety. The corner slept off slightly. He took his eyes in the backfield, and by that time, Allen was running by him, and he made a great catch to kind of put that thing away. But I wasn't calling my shot or anything.
Yeah, Allen, we're running a go route.
Yeah, it wasn't a go route either. See, you're wrong.
Well, see, that's why I'm me, and that's why you are. That's why you are you. You know what I mean? Those are two very different things.
I think you know, but you don't know, and you never will.
I would assume that is very accurate.
That's a famous Jim Moore quote. If you ever get bored on any day of the week, which, Pat, I'm sure you have a son of stimuli, which is the plural of stimulus.
Stimulus checks are out, by the way.
Whoa!
Yeah, speaking of stimuli.
Old Jim Moore interviews. There's some excellent ones.
I will.
Yeah, Jim Moore, well, he's got a couple famous ones, but going back to the game, I'm curious, how much information can you gather on the first possession that you get?
The scripted plays, and what the hell does that mean?
You know what that means, Pat. They're scripted.
For the people.
These are written down beforehand.
Got it.
We'd like to run these 15, 20 thoughts at some point in the first 15 to 20 plays. But there's a lot to be gathered. I think coming in, we were interested to see how much of their 5 down front they were going to play. What what Coach Staley does so well is mixes up the fronts in order to get singles for Aaron Donald, who's one of the best players that I've ever seen, any position during my time. And the beauty in his scheme is that he forces you, based on the alignments of the other four guys in the front, to not be able to slide 2-for-1 most of the time. So I was interested to see where they would put Donald. Would they put him sometimes over the tackle, or would they put him on the backside of to the reduction side, away from the shade, which forces you to slide to the shade side. In a basic underfront in a 3-down scheme, you have a stand-up guy, you have a 5 technique, you have a shade, and then you have a 3 technique, and you have a backside end. What they do, mixing Donald around, allows them to get single blocks for him so many times. And at the same time, with their pressure scheme, they can create free runners so often. So that was kind of what we were worried about going in the game. A lot. They did a good job at that, but we held up pretty good. I thought Elton and Lucas, our guards, blocked really, really well. I thought Billy and Rick had great games for us. Corey was very solid in the middle, as usual. But there wasn't a lot of pressure. I barely got touched the entire game. We had a plan to get the ball out quickly when we could, but when I had to hold it, those guys held up and did a great job.
I got it in the notes section here. Funny you say that. There was in the notes, dude. You remember? Out of the end zone, 1st and 17, okay? You hit Lazard. How did you see him, and why were you so relaxed? You were standing in the middle of what seemed to be a fucking fire, and you were just hanging out, and then you hit this strike to Lazard for a first down. Did you just felt comfortable? There's never, is that a sense of feel? Like, is there, like you said, you had the thought to get the ball out early, but then obviously there's a couple plays where there was one where you skirted out of the pocket, and you looked, by the way, like Tyreek Hill in a couple of situations. Yeah. I mean, we'll get to the pump fake, obviously, but you're just so chill in there and relaxed. Is that just the comfort and the confidence you have in the offensive line, or are you letting the play develop? Like, how do you know the fine balance of when you got to get the hell out of there?
Well, it's a lot of that, Pat. I think I would add in some residual jade based on the throw a few plays before that I missed Marquez on. That would have kind of blown the game open. When you kind of tie all those things together and you understand what the protection was on the play, I felt good that I was going to have time in the pocket. We were running kind of a staple action play with a deep cross route by Devontae Allen running backside in, and Marquez running a post to the front side with Billy, or Bobby was chipping and running to the flat. So I knew I was going to have a little bit of time, probably 5 and 2 hitches timing.
Oh, my God.
They did a good job on their coverage. They played actually 2 to the field. So it made it hard on Devontae's angle. He didn't know if he should try and take it over the safety, who was kind of hanging on the backside, or cross-face. If I had known he was 100% going to cross-face, I probably would have thrown on the first hitch, but I was a little confused. I thought he might actually try and go over the top and get his shoulders turned. When he didn't, I realized I had to move slightly in the pocket. I just had a feeling with an in route, unless the guys drape all over him, it's a route you can kind of always throw. You just mix up the trajectory of the ball, whether you got to kind of zoom it between a window, throw over a guy, or really throw kind of like a lollipop, like a real level 2 ball, kind of over, kind of like a rolling dagger route.
Of course.
So I felt good. I felt good I was going to have Allen based on the pre-snap the entire time. I just kind of had to get to a spot to throw it cleanly.
Hey, you mentioned being in the pocket, and Pat talks about how you look so relaxed and comfortable. I'm sure you're aware of this.
Are you fucking kidding me with what you just did there, though? I mean, that was...
Rain Man. You're Rain Man. You know that. Like, you love it. You thrive in that role.
That's unbelievable.
Don't you?
Sorry, Pat's distracting. What was the question?
Well, that's all happened. Everything that just happened there is happening in what, 5 steps and 2 hitches. I mean, like the entire. It's unbelievable how you. And is that why? Now, granted, they caught you laughing at one point. It wasn't before that touchdown. It was a different time. My favorite time was at, like, I think it was the end of the first quarter maybe, and you were doing a hard count, and the close-up had you doing a hard count, and then you just started like laughing, like legitimately laughing. Was there somebody on the other side like, Aaron, we're not falling for your bullshit? Is that why you started dying laughing during that?
That's a almost word for word what he said, actually.
Who was it? Who was it?
It was 41. their inside backer. 43, Johnson said before the snap, no snap, no snap. He was yelling out, and so I was like, why even go through with the gyrations of the snap count? But I still went through with it. They didn't jump, and 41 started. Yeah, that's right. You can't get us. You can't get us. I was just, I don't know, just his animation just kind of got me. I was laughing. I love it. It wasn't even like shit talking. It was just kind of, matter of fact stuff. And I was like, yeah, it was good, man. I don't know. I enjoyed the back and forth. And again, it wasn't even really back and forth. It was just kind of like, yeah, you're not going to get us. You're not going to get us. Like, we know that snap count. I was like, yeah, you could have just looked up at the clock too. 10 on the play clock and 15, or 10 on the game clock, 15 on the play clock. You may or may not snap it.
Hey, speaking of, talking back and forth with some of the guys you're playing against, what's your plan for Ndamukong Suh? Are you going to try to maybe butter him up pregame? What are we doing? Because I know last time you thought you were going to have a meeting at the buses just to kind of hug it out. Like, where are we at right now?
I completely forgot about this storyline. I am pumped. This is awesome.
I don't think there'll be a whole lot of conversation this week.
Damn.
I wouldn't expect a whole lot of conversation.
Next question, he said. This is the go ahead, Abe.
You're talking about being in the pocket. I had a real question about, so you see this happen sometimes where a quarterback will be dropping in the pocket, he gets antsy, he actually has good protection, but it feels like, hey, this is when the pocket will break down, and he still escapes the pocket. How do you keep yourself from doing that? Because I see guys do it all the time.
Two things. One, you get older, so you can't as much. And two, you get popped really hard a few times. That'll make you stop doing that. Those are actually real answers, but the third part of it is you just have to learn from your experiences and go back, and when you're watching the film and seeing yourself leave the pocket early, and I did it at times during my early career for sure. Just kind of antsy, or you feel like, oh, this blew wide open and I'm athletic enough to get out and make something happen. Every time you do one of those things, you kind of log it and lock it away in your mind and remember kind of just that feeling in the moment, work on in practice, not trying to get out too early, and subtle movements in the pocket and going through your progressions and not looking at the rush. So it's a process, but those two things will really help advance that process. One, aging, because then you're not thinking about running away from guys anymore, and two, taking a big-time shot, whether it's as you start leaving the pocket or once you've left the pocket. That'll stick with you as much as watching the film the next day.
You are getting older. It's a lot better than dying, by the way, so congrats. Yeah. Attaboy. Stay alive. Way to go. Way to go. But you had a tud, Hey, you look like a young man out there, okay? Mm-hmm. We get out in the flat, we pump fake a soul out of a man. I mean, that guy's soul that was maybe the highest jump I've seen somebody ever have for one of those pump fakes, because I would assume he thought you could definitely throw it over there. Then you just sneak in the side door there. I mean, let's go. The body's feeling good. The squats are working. What was the mindset on that game, on that play? You did say you are a pump fake down the field guy. It worked out for you there. Are we going to see a couple of those this weekend, maybe drawn up by LaFleur? Maybe some ISOs with Aaron at running back?
I'm not sure, Pat.
Okay.
That's competitive advantage. I can't give you the answer on that.
Smart strategy.
But, I wasn't down the field on my pump fake, just for the record. I was behind the line of scrimmage still.
True.
So it wasn't as fun as the beyond the line of scrimmage where you pump fake and get a guy. Those are really fun. I think it was, that I got Leonard on that one because I was legitimately going to throw the ball to Big Dog, who was right behind him.
Oh.
A lot of times, guys just run at you and really won't go for the pump fake. So I was actually anticipating maybe that happened, which later in the game we had a laugh, Leonard and I. I step up in the pocket to the right, and he had been dropping in coverage. And I was thinking about pump faking him, and I could tell he wasn't going for it. He was like looking at me, closing. And I ended up just rifling one guy through the back of the end zone. And then, kind of laughed about not being able to get him twice, But I legitimately was trying to throw it to Big Dog right behind him, and when he jumped in the air, I just realized I could move to my right, still thinking I'm going to throw it, not thinking I'm going to have to try and run it in. And then, about the 2-yard line, I realized I'll probably get this one in. Then I did something I hadn't done my entire career, other than a soft toss in 2011 at Kansas City. I threw the ball into the stands. I'm not sure what the fine will be, if there will be a fine or not. I will state my case publicly on this program.
Thank you.
First and foremost,
hearing adjourned.
Because of the COVID rules, I actually have video evidence that the ball did not endanger anyone in the process of flight.
See that?
It landed in an empty section of seats. Now, there may have been some sort of melee of individuals trying to get the football.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing to do with that.
No.
So, I
You
shouldn't
incited
be.
You incited this.
You did kind of incite the COVID super spread.
Oh, jeez.
But I did.
They could have, if people really wanted to keep social distancing, they could have let the ball sit for a while.
True.
Some stadium attendant would have came down.
Bingo.
If they're a volunteer, I would say they should get to keep the ball. If not, they can find their favorite person who maybe tipped them the most or had the best smile on that day or maybe the best mask. Give them the ball at that point.
Now we're helping. Now we're helping small business as well. Each
people helping people.
That's what you're all about. So if you get fined for that, I mean, what are we doing?
Come on.
You know what I mean? And that. Now let's talk about you celebrating there, throwing the ball in there. There was a couple moments, where it felt like you guys could feel the crowd a little bit. Am I misreading the situation, or was it very nice to have a little bit of a pop after something good happened?
Pat, it was the most normal that the game has felt the entire year. I mean, it really, really was. We've had 8 home games before that, and it's been strange. And we've had, 500-ish people at a few of the games, which has been okay. But this was the closest it's felt to a more normal. I know it's obviously not the same as 80,000 people, but it felt way more normal. Being able to run the tunnel and hear the crowd and those people were banging the hell out of those signs, and it was making pretty good noise.
It sounded it. Yeah, it sounded.
Yeah, they were pounding the heck out of those things. So good on the game day staff for handing out those big old signs, and it was great to see and hear so many people. As the cool moments before the game, with just 9,000 or however many fans we had. Normally a big game like that, you feel the energy and the emotion. You don't hear the individual like cat calls and yell outs.
Aaron!
There were so many of them. I mean, they just people pregame I was throwing just screaming at me, and you can't act like you don't hear them because you can hear them clear as a bell. But it's like, dude, I got you. Okay, hey, yeah.
I got a little warming up to do. Okay, this is a warm up time. Trying to win a game. Appreciate you coming.
Do you have anything to say other than my name? Like, come on, say something witty.
Let's have some dialogue here.
Yeah, come on.
Are you more comfortable on a football field than you've ever been before? Because we've just talked about a few different smiling in the face of the team that you're playing moments, right? While you're playing in a divisional round game, which is a monster game, obviously, for the team. You are just having the time of your life, it looks like, out there. Is it always like this and we haven't noticed, or is right now just a whole different time?
I think partly that people forget, when you maybe don't play as well. I mean, obviously, comparatively, the last couple of years haven't been numbers-wise as well as obviously this year. So people maybe forget some of the things that I've done over the years and how I am on the field. So again, with more eyes and more attention, you're going to see, things that you think are new, but actually aren't that new at all. And the other part is I'm genuinely having a blast. You guys know it. People that watch this show know it. The guy down at FedEx today that I saw knows
shout
it.
out.
Like, I've been a lot happier the last year. Like my life is my perspective, my mentals. It's been a really good year. I've said it before. This show has been so much fun on Tuesdays, and but the perspective that I've kind of taken to the field and lived every day with, I think, has allowed me to just be a little happier, and it shows up on the field.
Now, I guess how worried would you be if you had this same mindset, you had the same approach, and you guys were garbage and you stunk this year? Would you be able to stick with it?
I love you bringing that positivity age. See, I think you're missing the whole point of it. It's perspective, my friend. And it's not a winning cures all. It's not they drafted my replacement and this is how I play mindset. See, that's where people are wrong. That's why they don't understand the attitude of gratitude and a positive mindset all the time. It doesn't have to take a crescendo moment of somebody else doing something to you. It's when you take ownership of your own life and start working on yourself and loving yourself and changing your own perspective. That's when true change, I believe, happens. Now, some of us, and we've all been there, where there's been some sort of galvanizing moment for us, or some awakening, some moment of what's the word?
Enlightenment.
Enlightenment, epiphany. Like, there's all been those moments. But for me, the true growth has happened when I said nothing that happens to me has to affect my reactions. My reactions are my own. Things that happen to me don't have to influence my life in a negative way. And when that perspective changed, I realized I was in control, complete control of my own attitude, perspective, routine, enjoyment, joy, happiness, love, all those different things. And that's been the biggest weight off my shoulders. Not any draft pick that happened or any end of the tunnel epiphanies. It's just been really working on myself and changing my perspective. And I think it's really helped me out this year, not just on the field, but with my leadership and my approach and my perspective. I mean, I'm getting called on to give speeches after games now. It's for years.
Did you give a speech after this game?
Yeah, but the last.
Oh, can we please? Come on. Can we? We all won. I mean, we all won.
I mean, I don't know if they tape it or not, but I would definitely give you first viewing rights on that. But
I appreciate that.
Age, you know me. That's just not really been my personality over the years, and it's been fun to have those opportunities. I don't know if guys fully understand some of the things I'm saying. I mean, I'm not necessarily talking about chakras and all that stuff, but I do talk about how important it is to have the right mindset, to visualize things, to manifest the things that you want. Some guys might be thinking, what's this old guy talking about? But I do believe there's a lot of power in setting intentions to what you want. It's the same thing as goals. It's just more of a energy focus. It's not just some a lot of times goals I think are maybe off in the distance and they're too lofty or unrealistic. And it's kind of it's goal setting with a super energetic focus, I think.
That's was there a moment where that came? Did you just say you know what, I'm going to start being like this? Or how long did it take to kind of have that kind of switch entire everything? Because I assumed, if I were you, there's spite stores that happen. There's spite revenge bodies that happen. There's spite seasons that come. The amount of positive that you're talking about to a situation, I think, is very amazing because a lot of people, to your point, did assume that you were going to come scorched earth this year. And it seems like you're the complete opposite, actually. It's not like that. I'm very comfortable with who I am. Is that kind of the way you feel and view it?
Well, you know what happens when you start assuming things, Pat.
Oh, yeah, the ass, you, me thing. Mm-hmm.
It means you're an idiot.
I didn't know. I've never heard that one. That's a new one. That's on me. That's a new one. That's a good one.
Yeah, you can use it. Steal it. Go ahead. Just give me the credit, please. Look, I don't know when the speech thing happened. I think he just kind of called on me that week, a week to say something, and
it was good. They were like, "Let's bring it back."
It must have been okay because he's been asking me to run it back.
Aaron?
Last year, I felt like Big Dog got to speak every week, and it was fantastic. So I don't really want to compare myself to him or even the great Charles Woodson, who Age knows during our run. He was basically talking every week. But I do appreciate the leadership opportunities and that expansion of that role. That's been a lot of fun. But I keep thinking, this last game, I was like, okay, he's not going to call me this week, right? He's gonna go to a defensive guy or maybe not even have anybody call, and he's like, all right, Aaron, call us up. I'm like, okay.
Bob Ross of football, you want to?
But the best part is it's so kind of off the cuff. That's when I speak the best. I mean, I've given speeches over the years. I write out, bullet points and then break it down and go outline to bullet points to specific things I want to say, and then I get up there and it's just I can't even get going.
Can't do it.
Throw this shit out. Just
hey,
wink,
Nick Cannon in Drumline. That's how I always talk about how I don't know if you've seen the movie. Nick Cannon, incredible drummer, can't read the music though, but he can hear it and he can repeat it. That's kind of how I am when it comes to speaking. If I'm trying to read the thing, I am a nightmare I am an absolute nightmare. So I like the fact that, you're getting a chance to go out there, shoot from the hip, motivate the boys. You reference the run there, and I apologize, AJ. I'm going to move this forward. That's on me, 100%. I'm an asshole in this situation. But you talked about your run when Charles Woodson was talking to the team, and you guys won a Super Bowl and all that back in the day. How does this team feel? How does this run feel versus, let's say, then, or maybe even last year? Because you guys got to this game last year. I don't know if you remember exact feelings leading into the championship week, but how do you compare this team, the feeling you guys have, the way you're playing, to teams you've been on in the past?
Yeah, it's a little different. I mean, this will be our 5th championship game together. Each one very different types of teams. I feel like in 2010, everything was so new. We didn't realize how good we were, how good we could be. We're just kind of riding the wave. And the wave was cresting and pretty powerful, and we kind of put it all together at the right time. And the Atlanta game springboarded us, I think, confidence-wise, and our defense played so amazing the next week against Chicago. Then in 14, maybe our most complete team that we've had. We just felt like as complete it was. There was going to be some changes after the season on just some guys that we had and guys moving on, and we just really wanted to get it done, whether it's for Julius or Age or any of our older guys. I feel like, that was just such a special group of guys. Don't even want to talk further about what happened in that game. 16 was a lightning in a bottle, man. We were 4-6. We won 8 straight. And it was this amazing belief that we had, and a team that talent-wise wasn't as good as probably any of the other 5. But man, we had that special chemistry and belief in each other that was really, really special. And one of my favorite years probably was 16. Just the way that we stuck together and believed in each other and did things that nobody thought we could do, and made it all the way to the NFC Championship. Ran into a buzzsaw in Atlanta. And then last year's team everything was it was kind of like a reset, total reset, just brand new, and different guys. Brought in Z and Preston and Adrian and Billy Turner, and just new guys, new energy, new coaching staff, obviously. We really enjoyed each other and had a good season. We weren't clicking anywhere near where we obviously clicking at this point in the season compared to this year. Our offense is much better. It's not just the way I've played. Everybody's more comfortable. Matt's more comfortable. We're playing complementary football, which we just weren't last year. When our defense was so great early on, we were terrible. When we finally started figuring things out later in the season, our defense wasn't playing as well as it did earlier in the season. So this year, I feel like we're both kind of gelling at the right time, and the confidence is high, and we finally got a game at Lambeau in one of these. We're expecting snow on Sunday, and things are lining up for us to do what we set out doing back in April when we started having Zoom meetings.
Hey, speaking of that cold, do you have a plan on how you're going to combat the cold with your whatever clothing you might wear? Are you avoiding nightshade vegetables and trying to eat only alkaline foods? What's the plan?
Smart.
Well, I will say that I did not wear the toe warmers or the turtleneck, as you saw.
I was worried.
Because it just wasn't that cold Saturday.
That's what we thought.
Comparatively.
That's what we thought,
to games that we've had. This one, I believe, will be much colder. Not sure how much colder, but probably we'll put those two things back into the repertoire.
Okay, good.
Clothing. And we'll see if I need anything else.
Hey, when that one's out, everybody knows what happens.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a shit show for the other team.
Age used to wear, he probably hasn't said this in the show, but he used to wear a heated soft cup.
Click clack, dude? Is this Under Armour?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of one of his cutting edge brands that he used to stomp for. But you just want to keep the whole geesh and package nice and warm, I guess. I don't know what the thought was. What was the thought behind that?
It was sperm count. Laura wanted me to keep my sperm count up. We were still trying to have kids.
It works.
Yeah.
It works.
Stay away from Mountain Dew.
A lot of children. I'm getting in my ear 29 degrees and large chance of snow or whatever this weekend. So it's coming down. It's about to be Aaron Rodgers weather. Can't wait for it. Ty might be there, by the way. Ty's trying to get there. I don't know if you know this.
I am trying to
I think he has successfully potentially found a golden ticket. We will see as the days roll ahead. Ty, what do you got, pal?
Aaron, I don't think very many people were talking about the importance of this play, but when you recovered that A.J. Dillon fumble, it seemed like the initial reaction was, I'm going to make a move here, and then I'm going to skirt 60 get pay dirt, get a touchdown there. Was that, your initial thought at all, or were you just thinking, okay, let's get this thing back to the line of scrimmage, get a first down, and move on?
Yeah, that's a great point there, buddy. I was actually thinking about bringing that up earlier and answer. I'm glad I didn't, so I can answer your question, which you always ask good questions. So on the play, if you watch it back, I actually faked like a body language, like I was going to throw a run solution out to the right. And when I turned around, I kind of heard the contact. That took my eyes back to AJ, and the ball was coming right at me. And my first thought was fall on it, right? But then it took a kind of a candy hop to me. So I said, And my eyes went up. I could feel guys are coming from right. My eyes went up to the left, and all I was thinking about was, I'm going 60 right now. I was telling some buddies afterwards, I said, I legitimately was like, okay, this is it right here. Like, this is game changer. I'm going to break loose. And I moved to the left. Man, that thing closed fast.
It's different speed out there.
It was an important play, though. I haven't had a fumble recovery in a while. I always feel like one of my greatest plays of my career was a fumble recovery I had in 2012 against the Arizona Cardinals that nobody would remember. But I literally was carrying out my fake on the backside of a play and dove and like left-handed hooked it when there's like 3 defensive players around the ball, and just kind of got up and walked back to the huddle. Never got a whole lot of like, hey, great play from that. kind of bummed me out a little bit. Maybe people are thinking, what are you doing, you idiot? Like, you're just going to tear your shoulder up for a fumble when we're up by 3 scores? But I don't know. I just felt like that was a really, really fun play for me. You don't get a lot of chances to look athletic, like being me and kind of where I'm at in my career. So any chance you're like, something comes up where you're thinking, man, this could be the play. Like I ran the touchdown, and that was pretty cool. And I was thinking twice in one game, I'm going to break loose here and go for about 40, maybe make a guy miss. No.
Yeah, it happened. And by the way, I had dreams of doing that too on one fake field goal. And I mean, you're much more athletic than I was then. But
talk about the brand for a second. I went against wearing for the brand just because my friend who AJ knows, Jordan Tripp, sent me this shirt, which you probably don't understand the reference back because you're not a movie guy. But one of the greatest movies of all time. This is a quote from it. Before a duel happens. You probably don't know what this is, do you?
Tombstone.
Okay. You're getting in your ear, I know. Right now.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Doc Holliday, dude. What's going on?
Yeah, who's he dueling with?
That son of a bitch. He shouldn't have been there. Shouldn't have been there. Not this day with Doc Holliday. No way.
Johnny Ringo.
Oh, of course.
Looks like somebody just walked over your grave.
Man, you love that movie, huh? Tombstone?
I do. I watched it every other day in college at the dorms on my little 17-inch TV with a built-in VHS player.
Swag, dude.
Swag.
So much. Speaking of swag, it is alleged that Davante Adams went to Jalen Ramsey before the game and said, let's give the people what they want here. Come guard me, this whole thing. On Davante's touchdown, whenever that play was designed, Alan Lazard said yesterday that Davante's feet should be registered weapons because nobody can. Whenever that play was designed, you knew he was going to be wide open. There's nobody that can cover him there?
I knew based on the look because it was a double motion for him. So as he came over in motion and Ramsey went with him, they balanced up a little bit on the backside. So pre-snap, they both, Ramsey and I can't remember who was over Allen, were outside, like kind of hard outside leverage, and the safety was outside. When Davante came in motion, the corner on Allen balanced up a little bit, so it wasn't so far outside, and the safety balanced up as well. So I just had a feeling that when he came in motion, that one of those guys wasn't going to be able to easily like jump off of Allen and get in the throw-in lane. And that's why if you see it, I literally caught it and threw it as quick as I could.
Yeah.
To get it out there to him. One, because we had pressure, but the other, because I just knew I had to get it on him right away. But that was a great play design for sure.
You threw the shit out of it. I mean, you threw the shit out of that ball.
Yeah.
Good for you, dude.
Let's talk about real quickly, because before I was getting into my Tombstone shirt, I was talking about the For the Brand shirt that I love wearing.
Mhm.
But
I appreciate
how do
you.
you feel about J.K. Scott choosing to toss the ball to Mason Crosby?
Well, he wanted to do a double speed
I
option.
believe I missed it.
You didn't see it happen live? You had to watch a replay afterwards?
Yeah, I missed it. I haven't seen a replay yet. No, I have not seen the play.
And by the way, Mason just went and took that and just took one. I'll go ahead and just get slaughtered here. JK wanted that ball back though. I don't know if you saw that. JK wanted to run a little give and go in the backfield, which I can respect. You know what I mean? Get it out of there.
See, you saw that. I heard that because I said I was talking to Mace yesterday and about how he was doing, and
how he's doing.
I said, "What did the JK say? Like what made him do that?" He said, "JK told me, like I tossed it to you, so you could toss it right back to me."
He wanted to run a give and go, shake and bake, shake and bake.
You guys, sometimes you guys marvel at what I'm thinking about in the moment. Let's give JK some props. With a really bad snap, all he was thinking about is, if I toss this to Mace, maybe he'll toss it back to me, and then I'll be the hero. I mean, that's some football IQ right there. I mean, that's some mentals right there in the moment. I give him a lot of credit. At first I was kind of upset that he did that because, like, why are you tossing the ball to our franchise kicker? But now I'm like, I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Hey, Mason.
You saw an opportunity. Mace wasn't ready for it.
Hey, go ahead and take it, Mace. That's on you, pal. What about him manifesting that play, though, and it not coming to fruition? What's that all about? Thought he was going to run a give and go and score that thing. I hate that. Thank you so much for your time, by the way. You're always so awesome. And Mace Crosby, obviously, legend. Hope you're feeling okay, by the way. Whenever you said that, I didn't even think about because his shoulder, it was a real thing.
Jacked up.
Oh, my God. Hey, T's and P's, Mason, we love you over here. Going into this weekend, you're playing directly against Tom Brady. He'll be lined up at safety, as will you. How do you feel about your matchup against Tom Brady in the NFC Championship game?
Last time I played any type of defense, I was a junior, and we got the scrimmage against the JV team. So it was sophomores against the juniors, basically. And, man, I felt really good about myself.
Yeah.
Man, I was lighting these boys up.
Ooh.
Playing middle backer. Felt like AJ playing 8-man football in Centerville. Lighting dudes up all over the place.
Shout out to the Elks.
But, yeah, you bring up an interesting point. Like, I haven't played a guy that old at safety in a while. And so it's going to be weird looking out there and seeing him, try and read my eyes. That'll be one of the games within the game for sure.
Yeah, actually, when you say reading your eyes, has any quarterback ever tried to wear a dark tinted visor so safeties and linebackers can't get a jump on them?
Smart.
I don't think that's legal. I really don't.
If you have an eye condition, if you can bring a doctor's note with an eye condition, then we can do that and step up. You might throw 100 touchdowns a year.
Oh, imagine if they couldn't see his eyes.
Well, ask Ty, because Ty's got glaucoma, I believe. That's why he uses some of those products.
I do have glaucoma, yeah.
Yeah, he uses a lot of those products.
What, CBD?
Yeah, a lot of CBD. We heard another show talking about CBD, it's a show that I like a lot. Pardon my take, they said you can't smoke a bong once you get older with Chris Long, because unless you want to be high for a few days. I'm like, our show does that like 5-6 times a day, right before shows start. Maybe that's our problem.
Could be.
Mostly Ty.
Well,
okay. It's
mostly
CBD.
Ty.
It's for my knees.
Didn't Foles have the dark visor on this year? And when he came into the game, he took it off because he
Yeah,
couldn't see.
he wasn't allowed to have it. Yeah. Do you hate the conversation? I mean, if you're a storyteller in the pundit world, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers facing off in the NFC Championship. There's just so many storylines. You guys played in Week 6. You know what I mean? Both GOATs. Both are going to be Hall of Famers. Obviously, Green Bay Packers team's dominant. The Buccaneers team was built this offseason. A lot of ring chasers potentially following Tom Brady down to Tampa after his exit from New England and Bill Belichick. The storyline is almost like perfect for the weekend. Has the Week 6 game, does that matter at all in this particular weekend? And does all the buzz, is it cool to be a part of the buzz of the conversation?
Yeah, I think the Week 6 game matters just about as much as when the Saints went to Tampa and beat them 38-3.
Got it.
It obviously didn't affect them last week at all. Didn't matter at all.
Nope.
We lost by 28 at their place. They lost by 35 at home. They just beat the Saints by 10. This is a funny game, and things change. Teams change and evolve and either get better or get worse, or there's not much staying the same. But there's an evolution throughout the season of play calling, adjustments, guys playing good, guys maybe falling off, young guys stepping in. There's a lot of things that happen between then and now. So I'll give it as much credence as they gave that 38-3 game, which obviously meant nothing to them when they went out and beat the Saints on Sunday.
Valid.
But yeah, I will say, just to your other point, this is definitely some media porn this week, right? You got
It's
me and Tom, the old guys on one side, average age of 40. You got the young guns on the other side, Pat and Josh. You got, obviously we played during the season. Did they play during
Same week? Yeah, week 6.
They played as well. Yeah, so there's a lot of good storylines, and then they're obviously going to prognosticate the potential matchups. Of who's it going to be if this guy wins, if these guys win. Pretty good couple few days for the league for sure, for the media, for football in general. It's going to be a fun Sunday.
Okay, so last thing for me, what would you like fans to yell at you pregame?
Yeah, good call.
What would get your attention? So like maybe some kind of alien situation. I don't know. Like what do you think would get you to turn around and give him the fist pump like Brady Papinga?
Something about Bob Lazar, maybe.
Oh, Bob Lazar, that poor guy.
Disclosure. Yeah. No, I think what often gets my attention, and they used to do. They do the sign, the "Show Us Your Sign" song. You remember the song, Age? Everybody hold up their signs. We always look for good ones, And there's a lot of standard "Go Pack Go" or "Here's my favorite player number," but there was some occasional interesting kind of non-traditional-ish type of signs that would catch your attention. Just yelling my name over and over is not going to make me if you do it for maybe I told a story about the Philly fan. If you do it for an hour straight, I'll probably at some point turn around and give you, hey, thanks,
Good pursuit. Good pursuit.
You can go I know you could probably even hold the pee, or you got to go get a beer or something head on up. But yeah, something maybe a little more interesting.
Sign.
Creepy. I don't want any creepy things. There's been some creepy cat calls and signs over the years. I'm not asking for that, but just.
Well, you're Aaron Rodgers, dude.
I won't do what A.J. Hawk did to the crowd. I can promise you that.
Yeah, he was just everybody could get it. Jeez. I hate you. You spend money.
It's my favorite mug, though. It's my favorite mug.
Oh,
I don't have it today because I want to see you guys drinking my water.
Oh, that's good. Hey, you know what? That's inspiring. We'll drink our water.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll drink our waters. That's not one.
Who you got on the desk? You got Hefty Lefty. You got a Colts game ball.
No. So this is a Vinatieri ball. This is there was only. I mean, by the way, I learned a lot about me. I was number 100. You know what I mean? I was number 100 of the balls that were given out. I think there's only. I forget how many, but it's always records and shit. It was it was a gift or whatever. You know what I mean? From the people that made the ball. I could sell it, and then I got Nick Mangold's barbecue sauce here.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. You know what I mean?
Best.
Did you get that from Age, or are you friends with him personally as well?
It was his birthday the other day. We're not personal friends, but we have great conversations on a regular basis. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah. Hey, good luck this weekend, dude.
Thanks, buddy.
No problem, man. It should be a good game, huh? I think it should be.
You're a little jealous about me and Portnoy becoming good friends. Do you feel threatened at all, or?
No. I see you two as a good team. You know what I mean? You're already doing great stuff. And Portnoy's, we've got a chance to hang out with him. Incredibly hilarious human and good, obviously, with everything that's going on with Barcelona. Kind of saw that coming. There's some others, I think, that you're friends with that I don't necessarily have a lot of respect for. But, I mean, it's definitely not Portnoy.
I'll wait in person to hear about these others. don't want you to blast me on the radio.
Yeah, no, I would never.
On the internet machine.
Hey, we appreciate you so much this season doing this, man. We really do. Let's continue the run. We appreciate your time. Good luck with your squats. Good luck with your week of work. Can't wait to watch on Sunday in the snow at Lambeau with Ty Schmidt in the crowd.
Hell yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2020 NFL MVP, Aaron Rodgers. Thank you.
Quick angle.
Ty has to get his attention pregame, obviously.
Yeah, Ty. I'd say Bob Lazard's sign.
I'll workshop something.
I think you might be
Dress up as an alien.
Hey, Aaron, it's Ty.
Ty. I think you'll see. I believe your ticket's probably going to be pretty good, if I had to guess.
See, I don't know what to expect.
We got to get to a break right now. We'll be back on the other side. Full reaction to the conversation we just had. And to be honest, we don't have a lot of time, so probably the show stinks the rest of the way. We'll see you then. This is Pat McAfee Show. Well, hello, sensual piano keys. You sound incredibly inspirational and motivational. Big announcement coming from our company. You know, throughout my entire life, I've made decisions that people have said, ooh, that is stupid. You've read about them, you heard about them. When I was in high school, I went to an underground poker game, won $1,400, flew myself down to Miami, won a kicking contest, and got a scholarship to West Virginia the next day. I turned my back on soccer that day. Everybody said, you're an idiot. Why are you doing that? You have more schools looking at you for soccer than you do for football. What are you thinking? Fast forward 8 years with the Indianapolis Colts, and I was on top of the world, top of the mountain. How's the view? Not too shabby. And when I was at the top of my game, I decided, you know what? I'm going to pursue some other stuff. My friends and I are going to go to work on the internet. We're going to try to chase fulfillment as opposed to just a paycheck. And there were some interesting responses from people of power in the sporting world.
Make them tear the uniform off of you. Sure. Look, somebody needs to stage an intervention. People who know this guy, get to him now. Make him put his helmet back on and get to camp.
Oh no, there's no intervention, Wilbon. No. Here we are 3 years after that date, and it's a celebration, bitches! Cut the music! Let's hand out some bags to the boys. For the boys. For the boys. By the way, that's for you, brother.
Oh my God.
Are you home? All right, come out the front door.
What's up, dude?
What is this?
What's this?
Oh, you son of a bitch.
What the fuck? Fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
That is the bag of money.
FanDuel deal went through. There's $50,000 in there for you. Here's a backpack with $50,000 in it. Well, $50,000 in there.
Oh my God.
Yes, there's $50,000 in there. Yes, there's $50,000.
Are you fucking serious?
Let's go.
Grab it back.
Oh, man. Let's go, dude.
Let's go. I appreciate you, buddy.
Yo, this is...
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, dude. We did it. Couldn't have done it without you. Oh,
Dude, it's a fuck ton of money. You guys.
When I asked Dan Patrick for some advice, he told me always take care of the boys.
Well, and you should know those people that are there with you, that their value cannot be overstated and should not be overstated.
So, Mike Wilbon, they didn't hold my jersey on me. They didn't hold my helmet on me. We didn't have an intervention. What we have is a celebration. Because when you bet on yourself, sometimes you hit for big. And for us, the only place we'll bet for the next couple years in an exclusive deal, FanDuel backed the Brinks truck up to our office, and we have never been more thankful, more excited, and more together as we promote the greatest sports book on planet Earth. I didn't think I could continue to be an FCC-regulated person without really hitting my max potential.
And that's why he's with us. I love it. The Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Welcome back. What a day, dude. AJ, what a day. 60,000 people were watching at one point.
Oh, yeah. I was getting worried. Like I knew you had to get to a break. I'm like, man, I think it's 250. We're still with him, 248.
Yeah, it was a good conversation. I mean, how can he be that? He's just so comfortable right now. Massive game this week. Hey, Matt, legacy conversations are happening at this point, and he just doesn't even know. It doesn't even care, and it's all because of positivity and being okay with who you are. That was a very deep conversation with him, AJ.
Yeah, I didn't get to ask him, but it sounds like he's trying to prove people right instead of prove people wrong. Most people try to prove someone wrong. Like, oh, I want to prove my haters wrong. No, he wants to prove people right. Like, hey, the people that brought me in here, that drafted me, all these people, the coaches that believe me, I want to prove them right.
AJ Hawk, Ty Schmidt, Pat McAfee, the people that are on his side. Pretty good shit, man. That was a good conversation. Fucking great conversation. Now, listen, with the shade to the left, you know what I mean? I knew that there was a chance I was going to have to bounce that son of a bitch back to the left.
Of course.
And then whenever Shade's in stand in front up there with the right side, with the left side, then I got to do that thing with that one guy because I know that old buddy over here going to do that one thing that's going to fuck us over. What a fucking, you called him Rain Man, but that literally is what's happening before every snap. Yeah. I bet it's just like, picture. Oh, I've seen this before. Oh my God. He starts laughing at him.
Queen's
what a moment for him. He's in a zone right now. Was he like this whenever you're like, is this how he was?
Yeah.
What a life. Good for him, dude.
Rams on defense. Aaron, we know you're fucking.
Hey, we're not doing anything. Okay, all right. It doesn't matter. You're right. I'm going to get the fuck out of here. I didn't even want to do it, to be honest with you, whenever you guys were screaming no snap or whatever. Let's get to Jameson in Kansas City. What's going on, Jameson?
Pat and the boys, how are we today?
Hey, not too shabby. How are you? Got about a minute and a half left or so, sir. What do you want to talk about?
Real quick, this AFC Championship game, I think what's being overlooked maybe is the defenses in this game. I think the Chiefs win at 27-23, and I want to get maybe AJ's reaction to how important is it to a team like the Chiefs who are on this run to have defensive leaders like Tyrann Mathieu, Frank Clark, Chris Jones.
AJ, their defense got hot last playoff. How do you feel about them this year?
Oh, it's huge, and I think they have guys like at all levels, but it seems like when you listen to anything coming out of Kansas City, like when the Honey Badger got there, that team changed. That defense, their mentality changed. Who they were has morphed, and this guy has been an unbelievable leader, and he's fun to watch, man, too. I love watching him get picks. He's trying to score, but you can't put a stat on it. But, yeah, those guys are gigantic for them.
We were talking to Buda Baker earlier. He said he learned a lot from Tyrann Mathieu whenever he was with him in Arizona or whatever. He is a game changer. Last year he was, just like you said, whenever he got there, and he has been ever since. And it feels like in the playoffs, everybody tightens up a little bit. The big-time players, make big-time plays in big-time games. That's why they are big-time players.
That's right.
Who's going to be the biggest player of the weekend? Ooh. Tom Brady, the man who's won 6 Super Bowls, or Aaron Rodgers, who by almost everybody's accord is the greatest football thrower of all time, going to be in the conversation, the greatest all time forever. And on the other side, is Patrick Mahomes, does he have a nerve in the neck that's causing him a problem, or is it a concussion? Will he even play, or will Chad fucking Henne travel into Orchard Park, at home, with the team from Orchard Park traveling out to them? With Josh Allen, who was in the MVP conversation for most of the goddamn season. Ooh. 4 teams enter. 2 teams will be in the Super Bowl, the biggest game of all time, down in Tampa Bay, Florida. Tomorrow, in the days following, we will break it all down, and even AJ will give his exact picks on who's going to win, who's going to lose. He won 3-1 last weekend. Let's assume he does better this weekend with a clean sweep for both games. That's why you should listen to this show for the rest of the week. Chris Mad Dog Russo with Mad Dog Unleashed is next. We'll see you tomorrow. Oh, I had to drag out 67 seconds there. I mean, that's a long time just to fucking make up bullshit. That is not an easy thing to do. You know what I mean? It's not an easy thing.
You make it look easy though, man.
It's my whole life. Just bullshit. Was he always that like optimistic and chill though? When you were with him, you said he was the same guy.
I mean, he was all like his mind always seemed to work. Like when he takes us through stuff, it seemed like that. But maybe he wasn't. I don't know. He, like he said, over this last year, he feels like at peace, or he feels like the positive mindset has finally clicked in. He feels like whatever. I'm not going to react. All I can control is how I react to situations. It's like everything. you can read all these self-help books. Like what they say it's pretty simple, but it's very hard to do, to actually execute day to day.
Yeah, do as I say, not as I do. Most of those people, by the way, who are given those, life help things.
Right.
There's a lot of them on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought about diving in. I'm not that good at Instagram. I'm not that great in there. I thought about turning the thing into motivational speaker, self-help guy.
Okay.
And just doing like those speeches into the captions. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I do believe in this, yes, but this is mostly bullshit into your fucking page. You know what I mean? Like all these things, if you were to institute these things, these are great things, but let me go ahead and just dump it all over your timeline. You know what I mean? That's a good post. That's a good page. But the putting it into your life is a much different story. AJ, a couple stories popping around the NFL. Antonio Brown is day to day. That's a big deal for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, getting him back. Although when he was out, Scotty Miller got a chance to come in and go deep all of a sudden. Tampa Bay is playing their best football, as are the Green Bay Packers. What are your thoughts with or without AB? Does that change much, you think, for the Buccaneers?
I mean, I think it changes a little bit because it seems like Tom is such a big fan of AB. I know he only caught one ball last game, but I feel like he's always on Tom's radar now. If you're Tom Brady, like, man, how do I keep all these guys happy? Like, luckily for them, they all seem to be all like they know, like, hey, we want to go try to win the Super Bowl, so we're not going to be selfish. But man, like to try to spread it around to all those stars, I think it might give you some anxiety,
especially with Leonard Fournette running the way he's running and Ronald Jones running the way they're running. They have to get the run game established because then play action works. And to get the run game established, sometimes you might find out like, oh, we're running all over these. Like San Francisco, for instance, and I'm not saying they're going to do that this weekend, but it felt like Fournette and Ronald Jones could run. They could run all game if they wanted to. But then you have these incredible deep threats and weapons, so that play action is so big. But there for a long time, they weren't even trying to build up the run game, so the play action really wasn't as devastating. Now it's like Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones, real threats that they're actually using. So therefore, the play action is a real thing, which means you can take advantage of everything else. That game's going to be awesome. These are going to be two awesome games on Sunday. I'm very pumped about it.
Same for the Packers too. Last time they played the Bucs, I think Aaron Jones had like 15 rushes for 10 yards. I mean, if they they need to run the ball like they did last week to be successful as well. So yeah, should be a good game.
I love that. It's funny that we're not talking about the 38-3 game. Aaron said basically.
Yeah.
Did that matter last week, or are we not? We just kind of selective history we're thinking here, or what's going on? That was hilarious because he's heard that, by the way. He's heard people talking about the Week 6 game and how that's going to be the same. And he's like, I mean, this probably happens all the time. Probably happens. Oh, there we go. They just 38-3. How come nobody's even talking about that? Because they are two very different teams at this point. Very, very different teams. But what will the outcome be in 29-degree weather with snow? Ooh. What were you going to say, Diggs?
No, it was great.
Is there any gambling things happening this early on these two games? Is there anything telling us what's going on with sports books? Do we have any sense of where the sports
early
books?
Money, they are pounding the Packers and the Bills.
Oh, wow. Who is?
The public.
The public, which isn't great. What do you got, Gumpy? Oh, can't hear you go. Can't hear you go.
Yeah, but for people who are out there who might have taken at the beginning of the season Chiefs versus Bucks, probably a good time to go Bills and Packers, which is probably why the public's doing it.
Kind of hedge your bet.
Exactly.
Because it is a great payout if you want Bucks Chiefs, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
In the futures bet at the beginning of the season. Even though everybody said, it's obvious. It's like, well, all right.
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Okay.
And if Green Bay is the reason why I don't win that massive bet, it's okay, because you know how much money we have bet on Green Bay throughout the year after talking to Aaron on Tuesdays. Oh, that fucking team's going to go win over there for sure.
Yep.
It's been a great year gambling.
In games where the total's set at over 50, Tom Brady is 22 out of 29 to the under.
Okay. Boom. Fucking drop that. What's that, dude?
Who's going to win the game?
Can't talk about that yet. It is only Tuesday, which we will be back tomorrow with another show. Almost 60,000 people were watching today. We appreciate the hell out of you. I believe we gave away 25,000 last week.
Yep, the names have been listed. They're in Phil's possession. They will be sent out probably later today.
There's Connor throwing Phil under the bus.
Especially with a timeline on it.
With a timeline on it by the end of the day. Even though that's not how Venmo works. That is not how any of that works. They actually put quite a restraint on us trying to give out money.
Yes.
We appreciate some patience because we are on the horns with people that we're trying to send the money through, and you're only allowed to send a certain amount of money. They make it very difficult to give away a lot of money, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they actually have to fill out a sheet, I believe. I had to go back and get the emails of the people. So Phil will be receiving this list right after the show.
Phil's very excited about that. I was going to give away some money today, but should probably wait for tomorrow. See if Phil takes care of all that, so we don't put more on Phil's plate.
Good point. Good point.
We'll see you back here tomorrow. If the number gets to I don't know. What is tomorrow? Wednesday? There ain't gonna be shit to talk about. No. Tomorrow's show probably not gonna be one of the better ones.
Who knows what Sports Illustrated is cooking up right now?
You're right. Connor Orr could be cooking for us, which we do appreciate. If this thing gets to 40,000 tomorrow, we'll give away $20,000.
Whoa! Holy shit!
Be a friend, tell a friend. Show's gonna stink though, so you're gonna have to really, you're gonna have to put in some. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to work for this. This isn't fucking just hand out.
Let's put it on and mute it then.
Do whatever fuck yeah.
You know,
put it in the back browser.
Doesn't matter.
Let that thing run. We don't care. We understand. Tomorrow's probably not going to be as good as today. But I'll tell you what, Thursday, Friday, probably going to heat back up.
Oh, yeah.
And that's good news. What do you got
there? Was some good news, bad news that happened during the Aaron interview. Duck Hodges' contract has run out with the Steelers. That's the bad news. The good news is an entire another city most likely is going to be reminded to register to vote.
Duck Hodges, rest in peace, his career with the Steelers. What a fucking legendary run.
What a run.
Quack, 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 quack.
Welcome to New England.
His biggest moment was when he was an undefeated starting quarterback in the NFL, which did happen last season. Then he was the backup, obviously. But he had a profound effect on people on America's most important day, which was Election Day.
Yeah.
And the Steelers chose him to be the last face of the video. For a reason, you know what I mean? Because they knew that if he sealed the deal at the end with one clean
register to vote,
people watching that video might get out there, and they just might
register to vote.
And the thing about that is, can you really judge that whenever you talk about his career with Pittsburgh, knowing that he had an effect much larger than fucking football?
Oh, yeah.
He potentially changed the entire world with 3 distinct words.
Register to vote.
And if you would like to take a trip back down memory lane to what we're referring to, we must always remember this video right here.
Register to vote.
That's pretty dead on. I didn't know who that was.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you.
Quack, 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 quack. Why'd they do that to him? Why did the Steelers do that to him?
People were going to listen. Had to come from Duck.
I fucking love Duck was great on our show.
He was.
Amazing, yeah.
He's a great duck caller. That's some bitch. There's a name. There's a reason why his name is his name.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And make sure they keep that clip around to run again in 2024.
Ah, yeah, forever. You mean that might be like a Christmas movie that survives?
Oh, yeah.
That particular clip might survive every election day moving forward. Can we run that back one more time?
Register to vote.
Poor Duck. It was such a serious video. It was so serious.
He had no shot.
And then just bang right there at the end. Here's the exclamation point. What a show, dude.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you. Anyways, tomorrow's show is going to stink, but if this thing gets to above 40,000, we'll give away another 20 grand. Woo! Wow. Just strictly because there's no reason you people should be rocking with us like you are. And the fact that you do, we should say thank you. And I think this is a way for us to do it. If you don't win tomorrow, know that we'll be doing much more giveaway in the future. We appreciate you so much. This has been the Pat McAfee Show with all the boys and AJ Hawk on a beautiful Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, January 19th, 2021 with Buda Baker, Terrell Owens, Aaron Rodgers, and a poll that ended from Viva Lazito's tweet with the standings at...
where will Deshaun Watson end up? Last place, Jets, 14.7%. We have 49ers, 17.8%. Dolphins, 26.9%. And other, basically staying home, 40.7%. And Bear Don. A lot of Bear Dons in there, too.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that'll work.
Yeah, I don't know.
Get a second shot at him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Could draft them earlier. Chose not to.
Or Pat.
What do you mean?
Patrick Mahomes. He was available when you guys drafted him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he has a bad neck now.
All right. That's the show, dude. We hope Patrick Mahomes is all right for championship weekend.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Get better,
Fucking ass. See you guys. Thank you so much. That's your show.